Okay, what's up, everybody? We are supposedly live. I'm assuming those notifications went out. I'm going to check my phone. Really strong coffee today. Really good. I've been making it this strong recently. I'm assuming 6 people are here so that those notifications did go out, guys. About to get the floor vacuumed out here. That's always good. Yeah, I'm thinking the notifications went out. I just didn't see any on my PC. Yes, we're good. We're good. Okay, great. Okay. So, I had a bunch of people and then they all left. What happened? You guys were here and then you left. Are we still good? Let me check all my channels. Yeah, this says we're live, man. Not even a hello from any of you. Huh. Give it some time. I know I'm live. I know those notifications went out. Just waiting for one of you to say hello to me. Let me refresh the chat. It's weird. It's weird somebody doesn't come in and say hi even. 4 people watching over there. 1 on Rumble, it says. Hey, there's Not Telling. Thank you. Wow, first person to say hello wins. There you go. Thank you. Hello. Oh, some people can appreciate a good cleaning going on. So,
Butcher. Gurning nay.
Hey, Butcher, what's up, buddy? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Looks like we are down in the market today. Yes, we are down. We are way down. Whoa, not the Ethereum, though. Ethereum went up, kind of, from where we were. Okay. Just checking. Okay, that one went down. That one went up. This one went down. Okay. Okay. Very good, very good. Very good, very good. Butcher and Not Telling. Hey, Mrs. Ramsey! Cheers! Hello! Mrs. Ramsey on the
Sean
Rumble. Sean the Orca
morning,
guy.
Nick.
Hello and good morning. Good morning, my friend. Yes, things are heating up here in Florida.
Butcher. Good day. DR appointment, then a nice stroll through the woods to ease the mind. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing really good, man. We got Cleaning Crew Thursdays here, which is one of my favorite days to broadcast. As you can see why. Love broadcasting on the Thursdays. We've got the cleaning crew here, cleaning, doing the necessities to keep the house beautiful and gorgeous. Yes, yes.
Sean the Orca guy. Very noise cleaning crew footage.
Nice. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, yes. We've got some footage here. Yes, we do. We've got some things going on. Definitely got some stuff going on here. I gotta tell you, there's no comparison to actually being here. No substitute. Actually here, watching it happen, this is the best place to be. I'm surprised that Iceman doesn't take Thursdays off and spend his Thursday morning sipping coffee over here with me in the morning. I'm really surprised. I would totally be asking for Thursdays off if I were him. I think my engineer Jeff that lives up in Ohio, I think he's considering moving back here just for Thursdays too. Thursdays are a great day. It's a great day to be alive, Thursday. Oh, yes, indeed. Thursdays are a great day for life. Okay, so that was exciting. Let's go like this.
Sean the Orca guy. Totally this is the only way we get to share in the pleasure of cleaning crew Thursday.
I know. I get to as close as I can. But there's just a whole other... Oh, the market's dropping. Don't do that. Don't drop. Reporting on the live market drop right now, but it's good because it just dropped back to where it was. It's hitting a point of support, and we'll see if it holds that level. Meanwhile, Harmony's doing great, way above a penny now, so it's looking good.
Sean the Orca guy. Much appreciated, Nick.
We'll have to see what the crypto holds for us in the coming days here. What's a fun thing to do for 69-year-old birthday in Orlando? 10 of us. I don't know. I'm thinking cleaning crew Thursdays at Nays. That's what I find fun. The beach? My house? Hey, we're all going to Nays. That's funny. We're all going to Nays. I think she thinks she's bothering us. She's like, sorry. I'm like, it's no bother. It really isn't. Take your time. Take your time.
Butcher. Good range of motion. She's a professional.
They all are. I have to keep my eye on them, make sure they're doing their job right.
Sean the Orca guy. Swear your cleaning gal just smiled at the Kim Be Still My Heart.
She knows you're out there, bro. Oh, Jaleese. Oh. So, I put a little video up on the internet today. You know, Mitch McConnell's been having all these issues with his health. And, you know, some of you might be, oh, that poor old man. And some of us are like, oh, more please. And you might be wondering why. And I'll tell you why. Do you want to know why Barack Obama has such a bad reputation for his presidency? Why he's got such a bad record? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys about this. Some of you hate Obama based on where he is or where he came from or the color of his skin or whatever. But I'm going to give you The honest truth here, you can either take it or you can't. Let's see how many of you can take the truth. Obama's record has got a black mark on it, no pun intended, because he wasn't able to accomplish many of the things that he said he was going to do. And those things were subverted by none other than Mitch McConnell. Now, one of the things that Barack Obama tried to do, he tried to put 2 judges in to the Supreme Court, and Mitch McConnell blocked those judgeships, right? He had the power to do it, and he did. When Donald Trump went to go put judges in, nobody blocked him, because nobody wanted to be the giant cunt that Mitch McConnell is, right? Because Mitch McConnell is a giant cunt. And because of Mitch McConnell, women lost their rights over their own bodies under Biden because of what Donald Trump ended up doing, replacing the judges with all of his cronies. Those judgeships wouldn't have been available had McConnell not blocked Obama's installation, his two appointments. Understand, women of the United States, you owe Mitch McConnell your gratitude for taking your rights away from you. It was Mitch McConnell. So understand, when he starts shitting the bed live on TV, many of us are applauding because a lot of us support women's rights. And you know, if you don't support women's rights, how the hell did you get here? Oh, that's right. It was a woman that brought you into this planet, wasn't it? It was a woman who carried you for 9 months and cared for you when you were a baby. It was a woman that gave birth to you. Some of you forget that shit.
Anyway, he gave me really evil vibes.
It was a good thing that your mom had rights when you were born. But, you know, those rights are now taken away. And what's happening?
Drugs, Bunny. Good morning, Nay.
Well, for those of you who don't remember, now, I know Barack Obama's got a bad rap based on his horrible record. Absolutely. But you got to ask why and how that transpired. And I was alive and I was conscious while that was all going on. Many of you were in middle school or not paying attention to politics at all. But I was watching.
Hello, Drugs, Bunny.
And I put up a little clip this morning. I put up a little video. I found a little video. I put it on my Twitter. It got 0 likes, 0 retweets. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you guys so much. So glad that you guys are spending all that time watching my social media. All right, so McConnell laughs about blocking Barack Obama. Watch this. Here you go. Here you go. Now, for those of you who cry every time you see Mitch McConnell failing, and maybe you hate women. Maybe you fucking just totally hate women and you're glad that women had their rights taken away from them. Well, then I understand. And I totally understand why this bothers you. Now watch this. With Sean Hannity. Getting the dab ready.
I was shocked that former President Obama left so many vacancies and didn't try to fill those positions.
I'll tell you why. I was in charge of the...
Okay. Listen to Sean Hannity one more time.
I was in charge of the...
And didn't try to... Former President Obama left so many vacancies and didn't try to fill those positions.
No.
Obama left so many vacancies.
Look how he looks down. As he lies, he looks down. He has a hard time looking you in the eye while he's lying to you. That's good. That's good. Sean Hannity, wow, you're like a human being. He totally has a lying tell. Now, some people can look you right in the eye and lie to you. Not Sean Hannity. And Sean Hannity knew that was a lie. You want to know why? Because Mitch McConnell's about to tell him, dude. Yeah, he tried. I blocked him from doing it. Oh, you know that's what happened, Sean, because you report on the news every night. But for you to sit there and lie and say, well, I don't know why he didn't try. That's part of the massive problem here is some people just don't want to accept truths. And he did try. He tried and tried. He tried and tried again. Those are facts.
I was shocked that former President Obama left so many vacancies and didn't try to fill those positions. Republicans.
I'll tell you why. I was in charge of the of what we did the last 2 years of the Obama administration.
I will give you full credit.
See him laughing? You know, that's the motherfucker that took women's rights away. Oh, they're all working together. Why? Because Mitch probably's got a little dick, and women probably laughed at his little dick his whole life. And, you know, sucks to be him. Sucks to be a man with a little dick like him. I don't know what to tell you. You know, God dealt you a bad hand. You know, get over it. Whatever his issue with women was, his life, whether his big sister, you know, did things to him or whatever, who knows? This is the response. This is how he repays society by taking women's rights away, and people like Sean Hannity cover for him and applaud him while he sits and laughs about taking your rights away.
And he's right about Mitch McConnell.
Your daughters, your wives' rights, your cousins, your friends, your families, your neighbors' rights. So, I mean, I understand there's a lot of people out there who don't give a shit about women's rights. And you guys are the ones that are leaving me on Rumble right now. It's hilarious to watch Rumble go down as I talk about women's rights. I don't care. If you don't support women's rights, I don't want you here, man. You're psycho. So, I hope that you guys are able to grasp that, you know, Barack Obama's presidency would have been left in a higher regard had people like Mitch McConnell not stopped him from doing the good things that he was trying to do. Yeah, Barack Obama did some bad shit too, and most of that shit, the Republicans let him do it. And so that's what he's remembered for, dropping more bombs than any other president, drone striking, 90% death rate on civilians. You know, what is Obama known for? Opening up drilling, lying about everything, not doing green anything. Right? That's what he's remembered for now. Oh, yeah, that's right. And because of ignoring Putin for 8 years, we got the Ukraine war. Thanks for that, Barack. That was great, too. Yeah. Let's cut off all relations with Putin. That was a great idea. And McConnell didn't have anything to do about that, but I'm sure he supported it. Because everybody hates Russia, you know, in our government. You know, that's the enemy. We know where the enemy is. The enemy is within. And until you guys realize that, we're all going to be barking up the wrong tree. So, I wish I had a more in tune audience. I wish I was speaking to people who could speak back to me, offer some support or some conversation, but it looks like I'm just talking to a wall. That's all. Nothing else. Nothing here, folks. Not a response from any of you, huh? Who am I talking to? Why am I wasting my time? Why? Hello? Anyone?
Nick Brown. Good morning. Back in the truck.
Hey, Nick.
Arafat Nakba. IAEE bro.
Yo, what's up, Era? What's up, buddy? Trying to figure out a name to fucking call you that's okay.
Do they clean your soiled undies?
No, they don't. They do my soiled bed sheets, though. Jandali AJK, what's up? Jandali, hello. Lol, this is being nice. Lol, this is being nice. If I had a fucking audience to talk to, Notlian, you know, do you have anything to say at all, Notlian? You have anything to say besides this is me being nice? You got anything constructive to add? Let me know. Let me know when you have you're able to talk, to take part in a conversation with me here. Since everyone's so flabbergasted, I guess, by my presence. Whatever. You know, people wanted me to be fucking nice. They'd participate in the goddamn chat. You disagree with me? You disagree with me on what? You disagree with me on what? I disagree with you. How about that? In fact, what the fuck did I say that wasn't factual? Let me know. Let me know what I said that wasn't factual. Abortions are still legal. Not everywhere. Not everywhere. Don't even try to fucking debate abortion with me, you fucking Republican. Okay? Don't even try to debate abortion with me. You're wrong and you're a fucking liar. There's plenty of places in the United States where abortions are not legal. And women have to go to other states to get them. Your head's so far up your fucking Republican ass, you wouldn't even know it, would you? God, you're fucking dumb. You're just dumb. And you're saying that you disagree with the facts? Wow.
Hoot in hell. Did Texas change their law?
I don't know. I don't keep up with state laws regarding abortion. I just know that women have to move. They have to go to other states to get them. Pretty much tells me it's not legal where they are. I just love how people fucking can reconcile their own ignorance by avoiding facts.
Is this why no one wants to have a conversation? Be civil, man, LOL.
No, man, I'm not civil because no one's fucking talking. Understand?
Sure
it's your lack of engagement that has me this angry. It doesn't work the other way around. I wasn't angry first. I sat here and watched people not say anything for 5 minutes. All right? So it was you. Don't blame me. It was you that can't come up with a goddamn response in my chat. Well, fucking blame me because you guys have no ability to fucking communicate your thoughts via text. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers. To anybody that's going to actually participate in the actual conversation today.
Hoot in hell. Cheers. Arafat Nakba. Cheers.
My Beazle. You don't like there's nothing to disagree with, not telling. You just don't accept facts. Do you want me to look up where abortion is illegal in the United States since you're too fucking lazy to do it yourself? Let me find out. Okay, Google. What states have banned abortion in the United States?
I can search the web for that. Just tap.
Shut up, you fucking dumb cunt, bitch. Yeah, 13 states have trigger laws banning abortion. Huh. There you go. 13 states that you're in fucking complete denial of. Maybe learn to use Google. You know? It's unbelievable. Oh, but, they can get it up to 6 weeks after they could still get one up to 6 weeks. Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fucking fair. Yeah, that's not etching away your fucking rights one big fucking chunk at a time. You're blind of the facts of what you are and because of who you fucking support. You're completely blind. You know, if you would engage me in conversation, you would get smarter, because then I could call you out on all of your bullshit. But you're afraid of that, so you don't say anything. $14 hours ago.
Peter Navarro, who is one of Donald Trump's henchmen, is having a pretty bad day in court. He lost a ruling in his criminal contempt case, and then outside on the steps of the courthouse, he lost a battle with a sign.
Right. So here's the problem here. It's like, where's the CNN? CNN here? The CNN here? Anybody want to own up to that? Here's the problem.
Hero.
Who's this? Come on.
Bro,
Yeah.
you're already facing charges.
Yeah, I get it.
Go ahead and commit
So,
a crime.
so,
This whole time, situational.
yes, okay.
I love it. Oh, she's a badass. You're already facing charges. Go ahead and get another one. Go ahead, grab it. Go ahead. Get an assault charge, you fucking idiot. I
Now,
love
if you
it.
didn't catch the last two words that epic woman said.
Epic,
at the
yes,
end there.
yes.
It was situational awareness.
Situational awareness.
And then outside, on
That
the
was
steps
complete.
of the courthouse,
Dude, that was complete. You got owned, dude. You got owned on your own press conference, and it's hilarious.
lost a battle with a sign.
Right. So here's the problem here. It's
There,
like,
I don't see a problem.
where's
I
the
just see
CNN?
you getting
CNN
owned.
Here? The CNN here? Anybody want to own up to that? Here's the problem.
Hero.
Who's this? Come on.
Bro,
Yeah.
you're already facing charges.
Yeah, I get
Go
it.
ahead and commit
So,
a crime.
so,
I've been here this whole time. Situational awareness.
yes, okay.
Situational
Now, if you
awareness.
didn't catch the last two words that
Oh my god, dude. They're all going down one at a time, man. I fucking love it. I love it. It's like watching the slowest train wreck in the train wreck in the slowest slow motion that you've ever freaking seen. The slowest fucking train wreck of all time. Over a period of years, and we're just watching each car just crumple, 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 and we're just like watching. But we're enjoying. Some of us are really enjoying it. Oh, fucking Peter Navarro. Oh. All right. Hear what struck Gupta about McConnell appearing to freeze. Oh, who fucking cares? You guys heard cannabis? They're looking at trying to get cannabis off Schedule 1 again, meaning, you know, it has no medical value. Cannabis has no medical value, everybody. Schedule 1, no medical value. Ooh, that's a rotten grape. What the fuck are you doing here? No rotten grapes, dude. No rotten grapes, dude. Not doing that. Next one. Russia accuses Ukraine of large-scale drone attack.
Russia has accused Ukraine of sending a barrage of drones deep into Russian territory. Officials say Ukraine targeted 6 regions in the western part of the country Wednesday, including a district that surrounds and shares a name with the capital of Moscow. In the region of Pskov, fiery smoke could be seen rising in.
Do you guys think that Vladimir Putin's going to have a response to this? Let me give you my answer. Has he ever not responded to attacks within his homeland? He always responds, and it's always an over response. He ends up killing like a whole bunch of people, right? So all those little drone operators, they probably just cost Ukraine 100 lives. 100 Ukrainians are probably going to get killed now. That's a guess. I'm going to say it's probably going to be like 88 seems to be the number that's popping up. He's going to kill 88 people. Give him a day or two. It usually doesn't take long.
In the night sky, Russian state media reported drones hit an airport near the border with Estonia and Latvia, damaging 4 military transport planes. Meantime, Ukrainian officials say Russia launched its own drone and missile attack on the capital Kyiv overnight, killing at least 2 people. Let's bring
Okay,
in former
2
US
down,
Ambassador
86 to
to
go.
Ukraine, William Taylor.
That's not going to be enough, but that was an instant response, but I have a feeling there's going to be a massive response.
Ambassador Taylor,
And it's going
Is
to
this
be
a
on
permanent-
civilian infrastructure and like an apartment complex. He's going to kill a lot of people.
change in the way this
I'm
war
just
is being
guessing.
fought
I'm just
with
guessing.
drones, and
But I
also
just this
from
is how
Ukraine, drones
how
deep
Putin
into,
usually
or at
responds.
least into Russian territory.
John, I think we are seeing a major change in the way wars in general will be fought. This is the big war.
This
since
guy,
World War II.
right?
This
Not
is
telling.
also the
Yeah, here's something you and I can agree on. This motherfucker is jerking off to war. This guy, all he wants to do is increase the war, right? This guy right here, I've seen him before. All he ever talks about is how we can have Prairie Kid. What's up, buddy? Oh, Prairie. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I was so glad to see you respond to me on Truth Social, bro. Thank you for that, and I hope to see you next time you have time to come into the show. Maybe take us with you to work, introduce us to your coworkers.
opportunity for the Ukrainians and the Russians to use these drones against each other. The interesting thing, John, about Ukraine and Russia, when you compare their drone technology, their drone capability, is this plays to Ukraine's strength. The Ukrainians, number one, are totally focused and they're totally mobilized. I mean, even the civilians, the private sector, making drones as fast as they can. And Ukrainians are innovative. The Ukrainians are very good. The Russians are trying not to pay any attention to this war. So, yes, I think it's going to change warfare, and I think it's going to change this war.
Dude, what that guy just said, every single statement was completely false. Every single statement that he just said. I didn't hear anything. So let's go back, because it's 47. Okay. Let's go back to 1 minute in and just listen to this man speak. And let's take it one statement at a time.
In general, will be fought. This is the big war since World War II, and this is also the opportunity for the Ukrainians and the Russians.
This is the big war since World War II? I don't know, man. I seem to remember Vietnam.
Bill Maher believes in abortion up to the 3rd trimester of high school.
You guys remember Korea? Yeah, you guys remember Desert Storm? I don't know, man. This is the war. 1 million Iraqis killed. But this is the war, man. This is the war. We haven't had any war since World War II. Okay, there you go. There's the first statement. Doesn't make any sense. Let's keep going.
To use these drones against.
Bill Maher believes in abortion up to the 3rd trimester of high school. Dude, step off of women's rights, Ivan. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and block you. You know, I don't like anybody that doesn't support women's rights, so get the fuck off my live stream. Go fuck off.
Each other. The interesting thing, John, about...
Hey, man, you can be a Trump supporter. You can be a Republican. You can even be a DeSantis supporter. But if you don't tell me that you can say that you support women's rights, or you show me in your bullshit rhetoric that you don't support women's rights, and you make jokes around it or whatever, well, you're a fucking cunt, and you're not worth my fucking time. Okay? Understand that. You can support Trump all you want. You can support DeSantis all you want. But you better fucking support women's rights too. That's all I'm telling you. And if you don't support women's rights, then get the fuck off my live stream right now. What the fuck are you doing, you little dick? Go take your little dick and go take it somewhere else where all the little dick, fucking right-wing, red pill little dicks hang out. Okay? Yeah.
About Ukraine and...
Red pill my ass. It's little dick. That's what that really means.
Russia, when you compare their drone technology, their drone capability, is this plays to Ukraine's strength. The Ukrainians...
Really? Russians drone... I wonder how many people the drones from Russia have killed compared to the drones from Iraq. I mean, from from Ukraine. I just wonder. You know why? Because they get drones from all over the place too. They're not just Russian drones. They're getting drones from Iran or Iraq or somewhere. Iranian drones? Is that what that is? Yeah, Iranian. And they're getting them by the hundreds, and they've killed a lot of people. And they've done a lot of infrastructure damage. They've done a lot of damage to apartments and buildings and all kinds of shit. And this guy just completely negated that whole narrative, the whole fact that these drones have been destroying shit in Ukraine for the last year, and we all know it. And to some bullshit statement that, yo, this really plays to the Ukrainians. What? Can we hear that again? Can we hear you say that their drone game is way stepped up? Okay.
For the Ukrainians.
Because I'm just going by damage. You know, let's just go by total damage achieved by drones. Who's achieved more? Yeah, okay. Yeah. No. You're a fucking dumb cunt. You believe in a woman's right to be born. Yeah, you're fucking forever banned. I'm not at all concerned with anything you said after that. You believe in a woman's right to be born. I believe in you having a little dick.
Good morning, Nay.
Or a stinky one. One or the other. You're one or the other. And if you're married, you know, he has to fucking deal with you, I'm sure.
Russians to use these drones against each other. The interesting thing, John, about Ukraine and Russia, when you compare...
Did you stumble after you said that? Oh, yeah, because you thought about it as you were saying it. You're like, wow, I'm saying shit that absolutely doesn't make sense, that everybody can prove just by totaling up the damage on both sides. Simple. How many drone attacks has Russia done against Ukraine? Right.
Their drone technology, their drone capability this plays to Ukraine's strength.
No, it doesn't, and Ukraine has no strength, and guess what? Russia took all that land, and you're not getting it back anymore. So what the fuck are you even talking about?
The Ukrainians, number one, are totally focused, and they're totally mobilized. I mean, even the civilian...
Totally focused and totally mobilized, even the civilians. Yeah, you have no fucking choice. You have no fucking choice. Russia's got Ukraine's backs up against the wall. Yeah, they better be mobilized and they better be focused. What else are they going to focus on and mobilize on? You're not making any sense, dude. It's like you're talking blah, 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 blah. Did you come up with all these talking points just so you could talk? Because you're not making any sense. Like I said, we're taking everything he said statement for statement, and so far none of it has made any sense yet.
The private sector making drones as fast as they can, and Ukrainians are innovative. The Ukrainians are very good.
They're innovative and they're very good, everybody. That's science. The Ukrainians are innovative and they're very good. Keep that in mind while you listen to more of the bullshit.
The Russians are trying not to pay any attention to this war.
Okay, and the Russians are trying not to pay any attention to this war while they're just literally responded within 24 hours. You drone attacked Russia, and within 24 hours, they drone attacked Kyiv. Killed 2 people. They just murdered 2 people overnight in response to what they did. But that's not paying attention? Another lie. Okay, let's keep going. What else does this fucking dude blather out at his shithole?
Yes, I think it's going to change warfare, and I think it's going to change this war.
Oh, he thinks it's going to change. Okay, so a whole bunch of nothing.
Themselves out of the state of war.
A whole bunch of blah, blah, blah to keep you going rah, rah, rah for the war. What's that achieving? Oh, you keep supporting these motherfuckers to send more money out there. You'll keep flying your little blue and yellow flag. Keep doing that shit. It's not getting you anywhere. How's it feel to be a loser? Because all of us are losing right now. Welcome to the fucking losers club. We're all a bunch of fucking losers in this one. And this motherfucker, he's trying to tread water to act like this is somehow a win. Bro. It's like you took a drop of water and you dropped it on top of a fucking anthill. All the damage that one drop of water did, but now you've got thousands of fucking ants coming out. Was it worth it?
Help me understand your thoughts about retaliation. So we've been told various times that Putin's going to retaliate if there is action with
These attacks are proof that Ukraine cannot win on the battlefield, and now they have to go after civilians. That's proof that they've lost this fucking war already. Now, Ukraine has turned into a terrorist nation that is attacking civilians in Russia.
In Russia, that was part of the F-16 discussion about U.S. involvement. But these drones are going into Russia.
And don't get me wrong, I mean, Russia's no better. Just so you guys know, Russia's doing the exact same thing. But this isn't accomplishing anything. You know, the only thing that would accomplish anything is for Zelensky to fucking lay down, wave the white flag, and sit at a table and have a conversation with Vladimir Putin. That's it. That's it. You got to have a fucking peace talk. That's it. All of this is all bullshit. And if you're getting drawn into this by bullshit from this guy, all you got to do is just listen to the statements and take them. Don't listen to the whole thing, because that's what a straw man argument is. This guy's a king of straw manning. He just gave you 10 points. None of them were true, and none of them had anything. Oh, Ukrainians are strong, and oh, they're focused, oh, and they're mobilized, and oh, the civilians, and oh, what?
Arafat Nakba.
What?
Exactly, table
And
talks,
the U.S.
cheers.
is helping with these drones, supplying material for them, supporting that effort. So
Yeah, how many drones got shot down by Russia? I mean, I'm sure not all your drones hit, and I'm sure Russia had defenses up. Or you're not talking about that number, right? How many drones were launched? What's your hit ratio?
why do you think there has not been a big retaliation as a result of this change in the way the war is being fought?
Well, John, you've made the point. You've made exactly the point. Putin has bluffed.
Dude, I've been reading articles every few days about Ukrainians getting bombed and missiled and killed. It's in the paper. You go through, you'll see, yeah, Russia killed these people. Russia killed these people were killed. Blah, 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 blah. It's not, they're acting like Russia's not fighting this war anymore.
Over and over and not made good on these bluffs. So this is a continuation of that. It's also important to say that the Ukrainians have not said that they're responsible for this. It's pretty clear that they've got the capability to do this with their own drones, John. That's the other thing. They're not using American weapons. They've been very careful. Ukraine has been very careful not to use American weapons against Russian targets. The final thing I would say is that the drones the attacks, these drone attacks in Russia have been against military targets, against military airfields, against military aircraft.
My friend lost a friend in Ukraine a couple of months ago.
So this is, and so far, what you've seen, sure, is the exchange of drone.
He says they're military targets and shit. Yeah, I'd like to see all the buildings that got hit.
Attacks in both directions.
Ukrainian pilots will begin training on F-16 fighter jets in the U.S. this fall, but Ukrainian officials have said they won't be ready for combat until next spring. What does that tell you about the timeline of this engagement and how long this might go on?
John, the Ukrainians will say that this is not the last battle. They will continue to fight until they get all the Russians out of their country. So they don't have an immediate timeline. They would love to see the Ukrainians able to push the Russians out this fall, but they know what they have to do, and they know it have to do it at some point. If they can do it this fall, great. If not, this is not the last battle. That said, what this latest
dude, I don't know how the fuck we're supposed to pay for all these billions. You're right. I don't know how the fuck we're supposed to pay for it all. It's crazy. It's like they think we have endless money to just keep sending to a war that we keep losing and losing and losing.
Aid package doesn't have are the long-range missiles, these long-range weapons that the Ukrainians need, and they could use right away. They could use these long-range weapons right away on this.
Why? They don't need them. They're doing so great. They're winning. They're using their own weapons and their own drones, and I thought you just said they're doing great. And, Russia's on the run, and, Ukraine is winning because they're so focused, right? What do you mean? What do you mean you need more
Drugs
stuff?
money.
I don't understand. Which is
May
it?
not be American weapons.
It's conflicting.
But it sure is American money.
I thought they
being
were turning
used.
the whole war around with these 5 drones that they just fucking hit some buildings with. Oh, wow.
In this counteroffensive, this over the next month, they could do this. That decision, though, has not yet been made.
That's the $250 million that the aid package from the Biden administration. Quickly at the end, Ambassador, give us your sense of the state of the conflict right now. Do they need those long-range missiles because it's grinding and kind of at a stalemate?
It's not in a stalemate. It's interesting, John. The Ukrainians are making progress
Of the conflict right now, do they need those long-range missiles because it's grinding and kind of at a stalemate? 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 It's grinding and kind of at a stalemate?
It's grinding and it's kind of a stalemate. That's the truth, right? And now this guy is going to call him a liar and make up his own bullshit, right? His narrative that we're winning, that Ukraine is winning against Russia, right? This is how it's done, folks. Watch.
It's not in a stalemate. It's interesting, John.
Range missiles because it's
Like a baby.
grinding
Like a
and,
wee
kind of at
baby
a
here.
stalemate?
It's not in a stalemate.
At a stalemate?
It's not in a stalemate. 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 It's not in a stalemate.
Keep telling yourself that so America can keep sending money and we can keep getting poorer and poorer over here and have less infrastructure and less money to deal with all the things we have to deal with here in the United States, and throw it all into the goddamn the fucking bonfire, you know, of a war that sucks all of our money and all of our resources, and soon all of our weaponry will be going over there. We're going to start sending our kids over there. Oh yeah, we'll send soldiers until these fucking cunts can sit down and have a conversation. Your kids are going to end up over there, and some Russian bullet is going to find its way into your child's skull. And they got a lot of bullets.
It's interesting, John.
Keep it up.
Are making progress.
Rah.
Progress down
Progress.
in the south. And if they can cut this ground line of communication across the southern...
Only if they can, they're making progress. They've made 500 yards somewhere. That doesn't fucking matter.
Part of Ukraine, where the Russians now occupy. If the Ukrainians can cover that with these long-range weapons, artillery...
Which they don't have, and they don't have access to, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to give them, because, you know, we have to prolong this for as long as possible, because the military-industrial complex is making so much money off of our sucker asses that are allowing this to continue.
They can cut them off. They can cut the Russians off, and that will cut Crimea off, and that will be decisive.
Former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine,
Dude,
William...
I mean, Biden is friends with the Clintons. You know, they're friends with everybody. They're all friends, you know, and all these people, they all talk, and they're all making money off of the war, and they want the war to keep going, and they all have their little narrative, which is Russia's bad, and we're all American heroes because we're showing the American people that America is good and Russia's bad, and we have to fight them forever, and they keep telling each other that. But they know in their heads that they're making a lot of money, you know, and they helped Biden get into the presidency. Biden owes them. They supported Biden. You know, you guys think it's money and shit? It's fucking power, man. You don't have to you don't have to be like Jesse Ventura, the fucking idiot, and follow the money. You don't have to do that. It ain't about money for Biden. He's dead. He's got nothing left, man. All he's got is his presidency.
Found a way to make millions.
He doesn't
without
fucking
pissing off
need money.
Americans
What's he
by
gonna
sending
buy?
their children.
Fucking new dentures? What's he gonna fucking buy with more money, you guys? Think about it. It ain't about the money. You know, he's in there. He's in there doing what he's doing as a good boy because he got in there. He's already been paid. His payment was the fucking presidency. You know, which gives him, if he were to live after the presidency, it would give him speech rights. And that's exactly what fucking Barack Obama did. You know, $500,000 here, $250,000 there for a fucking speech or an event. You know, that's what these motherfucking cunts are doing. They're not trying to get money right now. It ain't about that. So don't be following the money, fucking Jesse Ventura. Follow the fucking power. That's what it is. And look no further than the most powerful seat on the planet. Who's got it, and why is he sitting there? And who owed him, or who does he owe for getting in there, I should say. Oh, well, you know, it's the goddamn military-industrial complex and everybody that fucking helped him become president of the United States. Everybody that put down Bernie Sanders and everybody that helped do campaigns against the Republican Party. You know, all those motherfuckers. It was a giant group effort. And, you know, he's already been paid. Don't forget the Bushes and Obamas. Absolutely, and the Bushes and Obamas, all of them. Ardelecki. I won't forget the Bushes and Obamas. We did a whole bit on Obama earlier today when we were talking about Mitch McConnell. I spoke much about Barack Obama. Oh, God. Fucking dude, it's not gonna support here, guys. It's at 27. It's got to find this level of support and bounce back, or we're going down. Nope, it just fucking Ethereum just broke 17. Now it's at 16.99. Oh, it went back up to 1700. Holy shit! It's the battle for our very survival right now, everybody. I'm probably getting texts about crypto fucking crashing. Common 77 cents. Too much anger for me. Yeah, fuck off, dude. God, fucking cunts. Fuck you. You're blocked too. Forever. Fuck off. Too much anger for me. Oh yeah, and Donald Trump doesn't get angry. I bet you'll fucking love him. You know? Oh, whatever, dude. You guys are a fucking bunch of hypocrite cunts. Fuck off.
Andrew, hey. What going on?
Dude, if I'm telling you something and it ain't fucking true, let me know. If I got a fact wrong, let me know. Most of this ain't opinion. Most of this is just fucking facts. And if you got a problem with what's coming out of my mouth, the problem might be in your fucking brain. You can't fucking compute. And if you don't like the cursing, and if you don't like the fucking anger and the rage, too goddamn bad. You haven't been paying attention to how obnoxious this fucking planet has gotten. You know, I do try to get along with people, and I do try to bring people together, but you're going to have to deal with my emotions and my feelings around everything too. And I don't hide that shit. That's part of how I bring people together. I don't hide anything. And, you know, all the support that fucking Mitch McConnell has over what he does to women's rights, you know, it's a perfect example of just telling the facts. Did Mitch McConnell prevent women from having more rights in this country? Yes.
Arafat Nakba.
Absolutely.
I enjoy the honestly as long as you don't blow
you
a fuse.
try
cheers.
being pregnant with a rape baby for fucking 9 months and then try raising that baby for the rest of your fucking pathetic life that you've been forced to have this fucking baby. That somebody raped you and gave you, and he's not even going to be around to help you. You know, does that not sound right? That's the slippery slope right there. You're going to end up there. You go, oh, well, it doesn't apply to rape. Not yet, but you'll fucking get there. You know, you'll walk right down that fucking slippery path. You'll run down it. So, fuck you. You know, you don't like my rage? Fuck you. Get the fuck off my goddamn stream. I don't give a fuck. Welcome to fucking Nay's Garden. I don't give a fuck. Welcome to goddamn Rumble. Bitch ass. Any other little fucking cream puff bitches in here? Probably call yourselves Republicans and you look at Democrats and call them fucking snowflakes. Right? Right. Those people that get all angry about my rage. Oh, they love the rage when it's coming from the fucking right, I'm sure. I'm sure. Oh, yeah. But goddamn, somebody's telling you the truth and getting angry about it. Oh, it fucking, you get all butthurt. The establishment is one big club, and we ain't. And no, what he said is, you ain't in it. And we ain't in it.
Arafat Nakba. Pop that tart, it's breakfast.
Ardulecki is right. Carlin was the best. He saw it all, he exposed it all, and then he died. Fucking bullshit. Way too early. I wonder how old George Carlin would be today if he was still alive. I wonder if Google could answer that question. We're going to get a lot of rain today, folks.
Dave
a lot
Fishing.
of rain.
Morning.
Half an inch is what it's calling for. Here, half inch is a lot. Yeah, so that's going to be great. How does this hit?
Arafat Nakba. I got a free ticket to see
Ron?
George from a Jewish lawyer he jams too.
Ron, thank you for that, Ron. Okay, Ron Dulecki. Thank you, Ron. I do appreciate that. I like it when people tell me a name to call them when I have a hard time with their screen name. George Carlin, which one is the best one of the greats? Is that a question? Let's move on to something else.
Arafat Nakba. It inspired me to get tickets to see Robin.
Robin Williams? I was just thinking about Robin Williams this morning. I was thinking about Mork and Mindy, that show, and the song. Ron, thank you for saying that. And, you know, most of my audience understands that I explode and I get angry about shit. And if somebody says something that I perceive as bullshit, I'm going to yell at them. You know, and even my friend, not telling, she understands that about me. She knows. She knows if she disagrees with me, there might be some issues there. And I might call her dumb. But at the same time, you know,
Arafat Nakba.
she knows how to use
Yeah, he could
Google
sweat.
just
Yeah,
like
that
I
cast
do.
was amazing too.
And, you know, it really bothered me that she didn't realize that women have to drive out of their state. Should a woman have to drive out of her state to go get an abortion? You know? It bothers me that she's not in tune with that, being a woman and someone who I believe has a daughter. I just don't understand how you cannot be in tune with that. I don't care if you support Donald Trump. I don't care if you support Ron DeSantis. I don't give a fuck. But if you're supporting them because you want to go against your own fucking rights, it just doesn't make sense. It's almost like you hate yourself, you know? Like you want people to hurt you. You felt the wrath once. I'm still... Dear Slayer, thank you. I love you. Thank you, buddy. I really appreciate you. Thank you for that. I yell at people. You're going to get yelled at, man. You know, you're going to get yelled at. But goddamn, you need to fucking talk to me. Because that's the thing that spurns my anger on the most. If people had just been having a conversation with me so I could get the temperature of my audience all along, it would have been so much easier for me. But it's like instead of dipping my toe in and then putting my foot in and then putting my knee in, you know, and then slowly getting in my waist into the water, it's like you guys all walk up behind me and just push me in. you know, freezing cold water, and I'm just like, ah, oh, that's how you feel about this? Oh my God, okay, well, let's talk. You know, I'm in tune with it, good. Not telling good. Because, how I feel about any of this shit ain't important. It's just how I feel about it. And if it bothers you how I feel about something,
Arafat Nakba.
well, maybe you're putting
They
too
need to
much,
think
giving
about
me
it.
too much credit. Because I'm just a dude. I'm just some guy. I've got my own experiences in life, and I come to my own conclusions. And if you disagree with that, it shouldn't bother you. I totally disagree with that. It shouldn't bother you at all. You should try to figure out why I have we have this difference of opinion. You should try to look into it a little bit more. Right? I mean, abortion's a tough one, man. I always say that on the show. I don't like to talk about it because it's divisive, but women's rights are important.
Arafat Nakba. You're a genius, bro.
I'm not a genius. I am so far under genius, bro.
Drugs, bunny.
I'm nowhere near.
Carlin would be 86.
I wish I was a genius, but I am not. Hey, Shirley Ann. I'm good. Good to see you. And what's the crazy part is that I have stronger feelings around abortion than women do.
Benoit.
Think about that.
Does the cleaning crew ever get scared with your profanity-laced outbursts?
Yes, I think they do, and I think they put on their headphones when I start screaming. You know, but they also know that as soon as I make eye contact with them, I'm out of character.
Arafat Nakba. No, because they talk to him.
Or as soon as I walk out of this booth, I'm out of character, and they know they know me for who I am. You know, and I think they like me, and I think they understand the difference. You know, they know I'm putting on a show. But Ben, that's a good question. That's a very good question.
Benoit. Do they get contact highs?
No, because this thing blocks the cannabis smoke. And I tell you what, Ben, why don't you come back with a real... I like the questions, I do. Come back with a real name. Come back with, like, be yourself. Like, actually, a real channel. Not a troll account. Thanks.
Arafat Nakba. You got a high ceiling too.
Yeah, but I mean I've got a ceiling right here. And it's got absorptive material for sound, and it also absorbs the smoke. So it's like I've got like a full on here. Let me see if I can show you from this camera. Oh, I don't know where this camera went. I lost my oh, there it is. Where is it? Oh, there it is. See that's the roof, see? Got this really nice roof here. So it traps the smoke. See that? Give you a little perspective there so you understand what you're looking at.
Arafat Nakba. That's the professional egg cartoon insulation, wow.
We are on one of my...
Shut up. God, I don't want to hear...
Arafat Nakba.
I don't want to hear you. I just want to see...
cheers.
So many different species of fish.
I don't want to hear you talking. I just want to see the footage. Thank you. I just just want to watch the pretty fish. I find that watching little underwater footage like this while we're live makes me happy. I like to smoke, and I like to watch the fishies.
So you just block everyone who is funnier than you. I get it.
No, I block trolls. I block troll cunt bitches like you little fucking cunt bitch. Like I said, come back with your real account, and then when you come back with your real account, you can stop being a little cunt bitch, and we can start being friends. But if you're going to come in here with a fake name and say bullshit, I'm going to block you every time you come in.
Arafat Nakba. John is the name of American military toilets.
So is a pot. Remember that. That's that professional egg cartoon insulation. Egg carton. Yeah, it's not egg carton.
Yeah, wow.
It's professional. Yeah, I bought it from a sound company. They're called Clear Sonic. What the hell, man? This girl keeps following. Keeps saying Kim's following me. Kim, Patriot of USA, just started following me. 10:06 a.m. I don't understand that. I keep getting this same message. I'm going to close those out. Carbon capture busted. Yeah, carbon capture. Let's ooh, look at that alligator. Holy shit. Dude, that is so badass. Oh my god.
Andrew Hay.
Fuck.
Let's go BOI.
Let's go, boy. Dude, look at these fish. Can you believe this is freshwater? Look at all these fucking catfish. Oh my god, dude. Look at all these freaking catfish. Where is that, bro? Oh my god, dude, look at all those fish down there. Holy shit, dude. Oh my god, dude.
Arafat Nakba.
Fisherman's dream.
Your gator's sleeping cheers.
The gator's like, dude, I eat a catfish whenever I'm hungry. I'll just chill right here. Oh, look, there's a tin can down there. Fucking asshole. And you know what I like is there's not a lot of garbage down there. That's like the one thing you see is there's one can from one douchebag. God, I'd like to fucking throat punch that motherfucker that threw that can in there. Oh, love to see somebody do that one. I'd love to catch somebody throwing a can in a waterway or a bottle. Oh boy. Oh boy. I would go to jail. I guarantee you I would end up in jail that day. And it would be worth it. God, just get my fucking hands on one of them motherfuckers. Litterbug, shame on you. I fucking hate you and I will ruin your life. My stand is that as a man, I have no right to tell a woman what to do. Exactly, dear Slayer, me too. Who am I to pass a law that restricts a woman's rights? Or is a woman passing a law that restricts mine? You know? To her body. To her own body. It's psychotic. And Republicans that support abortion and Christians that support, this anti-abortion stance, they're fucking psychos, man. And it should happen to every single one of them. It should happen to every single person in their family that they require an abortion. I wish it on all of them as they pass the laws that restrict themselves from getting them. And then one day, they're going to find out they're going to need it. You know, someone's going to get raped. It's going to fucking happen. Look at this gator, dude.
Arafat Nakba.
I just love
Iran does the orphanage thing.
I love the alligator. Dude. Look at him just chilling. The gator just chills. That is so awesome, bro. Oh my god. Hey, that's a Plecostomus, guys. That's a fucking Plecostomus right there. I wonder if he called that.
Lots of warmouth and other sunfish, stump knockers, stuff. That's a Placo, by the way. We did not see any exotic.
He knows. That's a Placo, exactly. And it should not be there. And that thing needs to be killed and taken out of there. It will eat all of the algae.
Dave
it will
fishing.
remove all of the places.
Angling up with Brett.
Oh, they will remove all the places where little fish can sit and
Dave
hide.
fishing. I watch him on Facebook.
Oh my god, really? That's so funny. It's Brant. B-R-A-N-T. Angler up with Brant. Close. That's so funny. I'm pulling up a podcaster that you watch. It's a tiny little bass. That was funny. Oh, that's fun.
Arafat Nakba. TDS a relocation. Dave fishing. Tries to catch weird stuff in FL. Trendy Nick. They are everywhere in Florida at this point. Been a fan of Brant for years.
Oh, what? The Plecostomuses are everywhere now? It's one of the reasons why,
Trendy Nick. Cameraman Ron as well.
Biden probed for Maui massacre failure. What? Crystal Ball is still supporting Marianne Williamson. What a fucking idiot. Confronting Destiny on his racism. That fucking dude. Destiny racism. Destiny racism. Destiny racism. So fucking funny. It's just making him more powerful. Just making him stronger and bigger, guys.
Florida is riddled with several aquarium species.
Because people go and they watch him and then they're like, well, he's not racist. They're like, what the fuck? Wow, I like this guy. He makes a lot of sense. Holy shit, I agree with a lot of the shit that this guy is saying. Wow, thanks for telling more people about Destiny, you idiots. You just send more people to him. He's getting bigger and bigger. Reasonable time limit for performing abortions, say 20 weeks. Well, I mean that's fine. You know, whatever. I'm reasonable. You know, then they only pass laws for we the peasants. Elites get whatever they need. I know that's what money is for. I like the magnet fishing ones. You're sick, man. Jazzle Jend. Thank you, Jazzle Jend. I think that's a compliment. Thank you. Is that a compliment? Or are you... Because sick sometimes can be a compliment. I mean, sick can also be the exact opposite. So, what do you mean I'm sick? Jazzle Jen, let me know. Oh, aquarium speech. Cameraman Ron as well. Huh. If you don't...
Arafat Nakba. How are you feeling Heath-wise today, bro?
If you refuse to blow in a breathalyzer, don't they automatically take your license away for a year? Isn't that the penalty for refusing to blow in a breathalyzer test? In Florida? I think it is. I'm not sure. Let me know. Magnet fishing? Yeah.
Dave fishing. I thought you just have to be arrested for refusal.
Shocking footage in Florida. Yeah.
Dave fishing. And they force you at the station.
I don't know. I don't know what the law is.
Trendy Nick. Yeah, each state is a little diff on that one.
Carbon capture busted. I kind of want to watch that. Is that a new one? How old is that video?
The atmosphere and stored underground to create negative
he
emissions
just put it up.
and reduce the CO2 content of the atmosphere.
Dude, this is Thunderfoot, everybody.
So this is our prototype air contactor.
So
This is the smallest module
for those of you out there that can't stand the left's
of what will eventually be multiplied.
I can't stand the left's claims of green energy, people like AOC and Bernie Sanders pushing green energy and carbon capture and all that shit on you. You're going to like this. This is Thunderfoot debunking carbon capture. So pay attention. This, like I said, guys, I don't have a narrative. And if it goes against, some things or whatever you think that I believe, you're going to find out I only represent the truth here. So watch this. And let's see how the debunking goes here.
Up many times to form our full-scale system.
Air capture absorbs carbon dioxide that's already been emitted. This seems to be one of the only feasible ways of trapping emissions from small mobile sources like cars, trucks, and planes.
Here at Carbon Engineering, we are developing technologies to take carbon dioxide directly out of the atmosphere. With the appropriate design at the right scale, we can start today.
Nope, it's all financially dead on arrival. It's all greenwashing vaporware, and it's trivial to prove as such. So it all boils down to this. This is essentially gasoline. It is the absolute king of cheap, safe energy density. There is a very good reason why we use almost exactly the same stuff to run our cars today as we did 100 years ago, because the chemistry has been well understood for over 100 years. Nothing is going to beat this in terms of energy density. It's just a teensy tiny problem. When you burn this, it releases carbon dioxide, which heats up the planet. So it really doesn't matter which one of the hydrocarbons you're burning, whether it's butane or hexane or octane or body fat. They're all essentially the same chemically. They're all hydrocarbon. So how much carbon dioxide you're going to get from burning a kilo of any of these? And for reference, this is about a kilo. So the proportions here are about right. You burn about a litre of gasoline, you're going to end up with about a litre of carbon dioxide. It's basically 1-to-1 in terms of volume. Now, in terms of density, of course, gasoline is significantly less dense than this stuff. So it's about a kilo of this gives about 2-3 kilos carbon dioxide, that sort of thing. But in terms of volume, it's basically 1-to-1. So it's dead easy then. For every kilo or so of gasoline that you burn, you have.
I don't understand why he does the candles thing and he doesn't have like a light on him for doing this. He's been doing this lately. I don't know what's going on. I think it's so you could see.
Morning, Nay. Love the title. My cleaning crew is on the way. Do you not leave when they are there? I always feel weird being around while they clean.
Well, maybe if your cleaning crew is more attractive, you'd want to stick around longer. My cleaning crew just happens to be a crew of very attractive women, and I like being here.
A couple of kilos of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. Easy, right? Well, the short version of this video is... No.
Me too, I stay in room, haha.
Impossible. And it's basically impossible for the same reason that this has been the uncontested king of energy density for the last 100 years. There are no magical shortcuts that are going to make it
no longer going to cannabis. Everybody cheers.
A kilo of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere. So just for breathing, just for being alive, your average person breathes out a kilo or so of carbon dioxide per day. So that's 365 kilos per year. Yes, that means you breathe out several times your own body weight of carbon dioxide per year. But that's still chump change. Your average person on Earth produces about 5 tons of carbon dioxide from their lifestyle per year. So 5 tons per person per year. So
actually they are a group of good-looking women who clean here.
At about 50 billion tons of carbon dioxide
per year. All of human activities at the moment, collectively each year, put about 50 billion tons of carbon dioxide up into the atmosphere.
So what would 50 billion tons of carbon dioxide look like? Because that's how much you're going to have to take out of the atmosphere every year just to match what we're putting into the atmosphere at the moment. Well, turns out the Freedom Tower is about half a kilometre tall. So imagine a cube kilometre by kilometre by kilometre. That's twice the height of the Freedom Tower in every direction. And fill it with solid carbon dioxide. That would weigh about 2 gigatons. So you would need about 20 of those, and you would have to take that much carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere every single year.
They burn
So you have
toxic
to do
waste
two
and
things.
dump
First of all,
chemicals
you
in
have
the
to
river here.
capture the
Carbon dioxide looks like dry ice.
carbon dioxide, then you have to store it. Storage alone pretty much kills this thing stone dead. You can't just build a warehouse.
Okay, do you understand what he just said? Storage alone kills this thing. In other words, it's not even feasible. It's not even possible that this is going to work. Just the concept is wrong. And here's the problem. Scientists could have figured this out like he did. He's a scientist, and he's just doing the numbers. And if those lazy motherfuckers that are doing those startups would hire someone like Thunderfoot to do the science, and they could save all of that money, because you know what's going to happen? They're going to have all of these as investors. They're going to put all this money, and yeah, they're going to make some money, absolutely. But in the end, it's not going to work. It's going to be proven failed technology, and all of that equipment, whatever, it's just going to fucking sit there and do nothing.
House twice the height of the Freedom Tower.
They're just shutting it all down.
To store cryogenic gases or pressurized gases. The only sensible way of storing that sort of volume of gases is storing it underground. After all, the oil sat in the porous rock of those underground reservoirs for some 100 million years or so. Pumping the carbon dioxide back down those holes, it'll probably be safe for a year or two. Incidentally, this is also why growing trees or biomass storage are all dead on arrival.
It's
Stuff
all
that
about
grows
getting investors,
sucks
with
up
some
the carbon
companies not all
dioxide,
have a
but
visionary
when it
leader or an
dies,
original
it
idea.
releases it back to the atmosphere again. Remember what I said about it's all greenwashing vaporware?
The plant will be located next to a greenhouse here in the vicinity of Zurich, and we will supply the CO2 to the greenhouse operator that will fertilize the plants, because they grow better when there's a lot of CO2 around.
I see, so all of that will either be burned in human reactors or rotted and decomposed back into carbon dioxide by the end of the year. So where exactly was the carbon capture here?
The plant will deliver around 900 tons of CO2 per year to the greenhouse, which is supposed to increase the crop yield by around 20 to 30%.
Okay, so you've increased the crop yield using some expensively produced carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which you're then going to release back into the atmosphere at the end of the year.
We always had this big vision of building up technology that could impact one of the biggest challenges humanity ever faced, which is climate change.
You're an idiot.
But if you really wanted to do something like this with growing plants or algae or something like that, you have to take the dead bodies of the plant matter, which constitutes the captured carbon dioxide, and put it somewhere where it's not going to rot for thousands of years.
We got a grape
and this
down.
is where you've got to keep this sort of conservation of volume sort of thing in mind, that for every litre or gallon of gasoline you burn, you're going to get about a litre or gallon of solid or liquid carbon dioxide. That's going to have to be stored somewhere at some point. Now, fortunately, we've already done loads of geological surveys where we know there is loads of porous rock that has managed to successfully store gases and oil for millions of years. Problem is, of course, that the price of crude oil, bar their market fluctuations of one sort or another, is basically the price of building the stuff to extract it and transport it. Crude oil currently runs at about $50 a barrel, that sort of thing, with a barrel containing about 150 litres, that sort of thing. So you're looking at sort of 30, 50 cents per litre of crude oil, most of which is just going to get burned and turned into carbon dioxide. Building the transport and injecting it back into the holes in the ground will likely be a comparable price. So the cheapest conceivable storage method will cost basically as much as the oil itself. Storage costs for the waste product that basically cost as much as the product itself kind of make this dead on arrival, unless of course you're willing to pay the actual real cost of the
I'm amazed
storage
that someone
of
I
the waste
started watching back
that
when you were
create,
trendy dabbers
which
and
would
learned
roughly
lots of
double
good
the
cannabis
price of
info,
the energy.
has become something
And
with
some
such interesting
80% of our
content.
primary energy sources
But sometimes I miss you smoking and jamming with your dog.
That sound that you don't hear is people clamoring to pay about twice the amount for the power to run civilization. You know, growing the food, running the transport, electricity generation, and so forth. And people are more thinking, why don't we just keep dumping it into the atmosphere? Then we can get our power for about half the price. After all, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah. But let's ignore the storage costs for a second. So we're going to burn about a kilo of crude oil, which is going to cost us about 50 cents, that sort of thing. So we need to extract about 3 kilos of carbon dioxide for about the same price.
Who can help?
Just to get to a break-even point. Current price of dry ice about $1 per kilo. So to take 3 kilos
Arafat
out of the
Nakba.
atmosphere is going to
Ever
be
see the funny monkeys from Fukushima nuke
That's
explosion?
6 times the price of the crude oil you burned to make it. And that's going to be carbon dioxide from cheap sources, not recovered from the atmosphere. You see, carbon dioxide is currently a byproduct of a lot of heavy industry processes. It's basically produced as a waste product.
Spycasta, you look, dude, I can't make you watch every show. We just played guitar all night last night. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. You know, I got my dog. He's here with me every show. I smoke every show. That's literally what I do on almost every show. So what the fuck are you talking about, Spy? You're just not watching my shows or what? Literally just, I smoke every show. My dog's on every show. And I literally play guitar like every other show.
Spycasta. Sorry, dude, D to sleep sometimes. Oh, I know you smoke every
Well, what do
day.
you mean you miss me smoking and jamming with my dog? I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Because I do it all the time. Maybe not every show, but I jam all. I got my guitar is right here. Here's the amplifier right here.
Spycasta. But the old shows were just more laid back.
Well, I'm in my mom's house, man. You know, she's restrictive. What can I say?
So the cost, just the cost of cooling
What
it
can I
down
say?
or compressing it,
Arafat
either
Nakba.
liquefy it or
Sorry, I passed out last HT. I was up for 3 days like Christ and hell HAHA.
Carbon dioxide from the atmosphere
Spycasta.
should tell you everything
But I am
you
saying
need to
I
know
love the new
about
information.
And I appreciate that. Thank
is
you.
cheaper. So if
But
you take
don't
your pure carbon
don't sit there and
dioxide
act like I
and
don't
you're
smoke
brewing
on the
it or
show,
something,
bro.
what are the
And I don't have my
costs
dog
for
here,
liquefying?
and I don't play
So the next
guitar.
one is
It's just
fairly
weird,
cheap
man.
stuff.
That was
It
just weird.
composes about
It's like
4/5.
it's like you're in complete denial
Dave
of the
Fisher.
reality around the show.
Go watch old videos then, LOL.
Dude, go watch yesterday's video. You know, we've got Beazle Cam Extreme. Literally, I have shows where I put the camera on my dog. You know? Hey, Irma, it's the Beazle Cam Extreme. Get in here. He's talking about it. Maybe he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to do it. Go back to what you were doing, Irma. Sorry.
Of the air that you're breathing. So the cost of liquid nitrogen.
Mr. Blue 710
Hey,
S313.
hey,
cooling
tap
air
in, Bad Bad Blue Jaws.
down to
Tap in.
about minus
Hey,
200
Spycasta,
degrees.
cheers.
Oh, brother, you
Is
have
about
it wrong. I
half
am
of
just
it.
saying
So
how
it's
much I
about
like the
minus
oath.
100
Okay,
degrees
all right.
Bonsai House.
So the most
They mean they
economical
miss when
price
there
you're
was
gonna
no
get for
crypto,
the
politics, and
liquefaction or
blue-headed
compression
incels.
Right,
to
Billy?
this sort of
Cheers,
density
everybody,
movement
cheers.
is going to be about half of that
Arafat
of the liquid
Nakba.
nitrogen. With liquid
You even
nitrogen,
have a pet
typically
bear now,
chalking
bro.
in at about $1, including the shipping. With just the energy costs for liquefying it, with the absolute cheapest energy being about 15 cents per litre. And what was our price for a litre of crude oil? About 50 cents. So again, you know, just for the actual
Arafat
price
Nakba.
of turning it from
Cheers.
gas to essentially something about the density of a solid,
Trendy
would roughly double the price
Cheers,
of
guys.
your crude oil. So if
Dave
you got somewhere
Fishing.
where you're dumping carbon
I
dioxide
still have old
directly into
videos
the
pop
atmosphere,
on my
like in a
recommended
power
time to
plant or
time.
something, where you can capture it relatively easily,
Spycasta.
and all you have to do is compress
I
and
gotta
store
admit,
it.
I like when
You're
the
still
crypto
looking at
counters
more or
are
less
small or
doubling,
missing.
tripling that sort of
Mr.
thing,
Blue 710
the price
S313.
of your energy.
Buffett.
You know, if you actually wanted to pay for
Bonsai
the
House.
capture and storage of the stuff that you're currently just dumping into the atmosphere. So current plans are all about just slowing the release of carbon dioxide, not about actually reducing the amount in the atmosphere, just slowing the release where the carbon dioxide is relatively
I'm gonna speed this up.
concentrated and therefore relatively easy to capture. And the
Speak
size of the endeavor at this point
But
really
you
shows
were
this is more
on
of a
about
greenwashing gesture
crypto.
than a serious effort. Remember what I said, there are currently about 50 billion tons of carbon dioxide emissions to the planet. Total carbon dioxide sequestration, about 50 million tons. 1 part in 1,000. 0.1%. I mean, sure, there are plans to capture almost 5 times as much, capturing almost 0.5% of the carbon emissions, but only realised 0.1%.
I just hate I
And
missed
that
the
does
mark
nothing,
then.
absolutely nothing, to touch on the 100 or so years of legacy carbon dioxide that we've already dumped into the atmosphere. That will be much more expensive to remove than merely just
That's
capturing
all right,
the
Spy.
carbon dioxide as it leaves a power station or something.
Buck
But it would be a magic wand
Biden,
that
good
currently
morning,
they
Buck
capture the atmospheric
Biden.
carbon about as cheap as capturing it from the
I'm running
gases
6
from a fossil
screens
fuel
over
coal plant.
here.
The bill that you would be
I'm
looking
running
at
5
would still be comparable
screens
to the
right
entire
here
energy
because I got my
bill, the
guitar
entire
amp on.
history of mankind.
So I'm using the
Now,
same
sure,
power
eventually
cord
you'll
for
build a
this
giant
monitor
solar
for this
farm
amp.
or
I got
power
the
station
amp
and
on.
invest to do all of this.
So
But even if you gave someone competent the money, you'd still be looking at a build time of decades.
Actually, I don't
and
need the
fundamentally,
amp
you're
on
building a
right now.
multi-billion-dollar facility with no commercial product.
But this
Who exactly
monitor's off.
is going to pay for this? So it's kind of unremarkable that if you
It's
leave
just
the free
my-
market with its own devices,
my camera
just,
tripod.
pay half the price for the electricity and dump the carbon dioxide. into the
Bonsai
atmosphere.
House.
After all, it figures that dumping
With
into the
me,
atmosphere
it's
will be
easier
cheaper
to
than
be
actually
straight with him.
storing it.
Just say crypto and politics is boring AF to you. He'll appreciate it more.
Hey man,
Speakista.
I could just appreciate.
What is the cord situation like behind those monitors?
I could just cord situation. I don't know. Oh, they're all behind these monitors. They're all run through cable clips, dude. It's nice.
Speakista.
They all run through the cable
The
clips,
6.
and they go right over here to the power. Everything's tied up, and it all looks nice. The cable for this monitor, this one right here, runs under the table.
Excellent.
That cable's right here. I can touch that cable. It's right here, and it just goes straight across the top of the table. It's tied to the top underside of the table, so I don't even see it. It's up there. It's up against the underneath. So, because it was a shorter cable, it couldn't go around the back of those, so I just ran it straight under. Works perfectly. So if you guys are going to talk, man, we're going to have like conversation. This is what I'd rather do, man. I'd rather
Arafat
just
Nakba.
talk to you guys.
That Boss amp is amazing with its crunch and reverb.
Yeah, it's freaking amazing. It is an amazing amplifier. It is an amazing amplifier. I can make it do anything basically that I want to make it do in rock and roll or metal. I can make any sound that I
Justin
basically
Jefferson.
want to try to get.
Good morning, beautiful people.
Apple or Windows? Windows. The double decker. It looks good, man. Oh, this. Yeah, it's a quad pod. It's got four monitor holders on it, and you can put different size monitors. So you can arrange it, put it however you want. It's pretty cool. I wanted to arrange it so it would be balanced and not fall over, you know. So I was going to use a clamp, but then I just used a bungee cord. Just keep it from falling forward. I balanced it first and made sure it just wouldn't fall on its own. Then I put the bungee cord on to really hold it back. Because I figured I'd bump the table or something, you know, and knock everything over. It'd be a fucking disaster.
Trendy Nick. I have quite a few Boss pedals. Boss makes some good products.
Yeah.
Bonsai House. Justin, are you George's and son? Are you still living on the east side?
Justin Jefferson. Good morning. No, dude, that's Justin from the show from last night. What's up, Justin? How's it going? It's Paul's friend, man. I don't know if you were watching that, but Paul's got
Speakista. Kitty.
Paul's got a channel.
Arafat Nakba. Bungee cords band equipment.
Paul's got a channel on Rumble. He does Tuesdays and Sundays, and he's called
Arafat Nakba.
What's the name of his channel?
Why do the Boss distortion pedals lose their crutch?
Justin, what's the name of Paul's channel? I forgot it. Trying to remember.
Bonsai House. Cause their leg heels.
Maybe because your batteries are low. Maybe because you need to clean off your cables.
Arafat Nakba. Ha ha ha, good one, Billy, cheers. Restream.io.
Maybe you're just losing.
Congratulations.
Maybe you're just losing your hearing.
You've received 100 messages today with Restream chat.
I spent hours getting mine the right way. Justin, what's Paul's channel called? On Rumble. Getting all the right cables to multi-display like that. Oh. Yeah, it took a long time to do, but it was fun. I didn't mind. I like technical shit, dude. I love setting things up.
Arafat Nakba.
I love building shit.
I went through 3 orange and a black, then I went rack.
Did you guys see the Home Depot getting looted? And that looters are just going crazy now. It's becoming very popular. California supposedly has made it easier for people to steal out of these shopping centers. I guess what I saw, that there is a law that decreases the penalty, increases the amount of money that people can steal out of stores before they, and it's to reduce the prison population for non-violent offenders. But you guys seen all this looting going on? It's not just California. It's like a new fad.
Arafat Nakba. Home Depot sells me defective stuff.
Oh, yeah. My dog's got the hiccups.
Arafat Nakba.
This used to happen to him when
Should have seen my heater go up in smoke, literally, cheers.
I remember when he was a little beazle, he used to get the hiccups. Not anymore. I guess that was just 2 little hiccups and that was it. Really? Yeah? You got a defective heater? Maybe don't hang your clothes over it to dry them. Do they exist anymore? Prisons in California? Yeah, man. I know a couple people just got out, actually. So, yep, they got them.
Bonsai House. Next time someone asks you if you have a VCR, ask them how you spell it. Trendy Nick. How's Big Jim doing?
That took me a while to get that joke. I had to think about it for a while, man, and then I got it. I think those are the best kinds of jokes, bro. That's a good one.
Arafat Nakba. Have you noticed the large amount of African Americans in us prisons?
How's Big Jim doing? He's fine, man. He's out of the hospital. He's doing fine. That message I got was an old one. In fact, he may have already been out of the hospital by the time I got that message. But he was very, very sick from COVID. And he has, a lot of health conditions, so it was, for him, when someone like Big Jim gets COVID, it's a big deal, bro. It can kill them. So we're thankful that he's doing great now, and hopefully he, be able to avoid it in the future. Because it doesn't seem to be going away. It only seems to be getting worse, and it's getting hot, and viruses love the heat and they love the cold. They love both. It gets cold, people congregate inside. It gets hot and viruses
Arafat
just
Nakba.
thrive in warmth.
Is another round coming up?
It's already here, bro. I don't know. Why don't you guys stay informed? I don't understand how you guys don't know this stuff. I mean, we talk about Arafat. You were here. We're talking about it. Why do you act like you don't listen to what goes on my show? We literally just said, and you were here when I said, you know how many people I know that have COVID right now? I was like, 2 of my friends right now fucking have COVID. I was like, how many people, you were here, bro. How many people in the chat know people with COVID? People in the chat were saying, I know 5 people. I know 2 people right now. I know 3 people with COVID in the chat. Some of the people in the chat just got over COVID, like Nick.
Arafat Nakba. I hold my breath and run from coughers.
I hold my breath too. It's the same concept of wearing a mask. Restricting the amount of air coming in and out of your mouth and your nose. And if I walk through a doorway in a shopping center or something, I hold my breath. I don't breathe in anybody
Nick.
else's breath when I'm walking through.
I know several that's got it.
We could watch a little. You guys like Thunderfoot talking about this carbon capture bullshit?
The same is true for sulfur dioxide. Because in a free market, putting sulfur dioxide scrubbers on your power plant will be more expensive than just
Arafat
dumping it
Nakba.
into the atmosphere. That's
Me too
pretty
in
much
crowded
common sense. And if you
aisles.
leave the free market to its own devices, that's exactly what will happen. So it was that the arch-capitalist himself, Ronald Reagan, was dismissive of acid rain caused by sulfur dioxide, till of course he saw the damage with his own eyes. Turns out acid rain is a fairly local, not planet-wide problem, and wipes out forests and causes a whole litany of issues where you see ecosystems dying within decades. Carbon dioxide is just...
Bro, some of your family died from COVID? I didn't know that, bro. I'm sorry.
Arafat Nakba. Walmart can be a scary place.
Prisons, okay, cool. So the chat has died over there almost, except for Bad Bad Blue Jaws on Rumble. He's also on the Kick. Thank you, Bad Bad Blue Jaws.
Bonsai house. Some aisles are so bad they light on fire. Like Maui.
Just a slow burn version of this. It's much slower moving. It's also a juggernaut. Stop the carbon emissions tomorrow. It'll still take the best part of 100 years before you start seeing things moving sensibly back towards normal. And people just don't have the processing power to deal with a problem like that.
What he said was if you stopped everything right now, if you stopped all of the stuff that is creating carbon dioxide right now, it would still take 100 years before you even started seeing a decline. Did you hear that? I'm going to roll that back just so you can hear that and play it in slow motion. 1948. Let's go to 1319 and playback speed at normal. Listen to this, guys.
Forests and causes a whole litany of issues where you see ecosystems dying within
Cheers,
decades.
everybody. No longer organic cannabis.
Carbon dioxide is just a slow burn version of this. It's much slower moving. It's also a juggernaut. Stop the carbon emissions tomorrow, it'll still take the best part of 100 years before you start seeing things moving sensibly back towards normal. And people just don't have the processing power to deal with a problem like that.
Cheers,
To a
hashtag
real degree.
NLRC.
We are the party generation. Actually, it's more than a party generation. It was a party century. built on our artificially cheap energy that allowed us to live way beyond our means on essentially borrowing stuff from people who haven't even been born yet. But there will be a hangover generation. Actually, more like a dozen of them.
Arafat
And they'll
Nakba.
not only have to pay the real
Love is the
price
law
for
for
their energy, but
cannabis.
they'll also have to pay for cleaning up the mess.
We're in the party generation, everybody. Think about that. It's your kids and your grandkids who are getting fucked, so fuck them, right? Ha 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 ha. Joke's on them. Told you not to have kids, but nobody wanted to listen.
From our century-long party. I mean, sure, we try not to think too hard about it, because for some strange reason it makes us feel bad. But to counter those strange feelings, there is an entire industry that has grown up telling people sweet, comforting, seductive lies that everything is fine.
The sun is driving climate change. CO2 is irrelevant.
It's the sun, stupid.
Can global warming be happening as expected if the world has stopped getting hotter?
The Earth basically has not been warming for the last 15 years or so.
First of all, I'm not a
For the last
believer in
15 years
global
or so.
warming. I'm not a believer in man-made global warming. It could be warming and it's going to start to cool at some point.
By the way, there was a complete and total dead stop to all global warming for over 15 years, and rather than readjust their models, current climate scientists employed by your tax dollars simply chalk it up to being the pause. By the way, there was a complete and total dead stop to all global warming for over 15 years, and rather than readjust their models, current climate scientists employed by your tax dollars simply chalk it up to being the pause.
Yeah, sorry, hangover generations. Some of us tried, but sadly and foolishly tried to persuade people with facts and reasoned arguments instead of emotional appeals that it's all an evil conspiracy by a cabal of research scientists who are only in it for personal gain of your tax dollars. Can you believe the audacity? Yeah, we never stood a chance. But somewhere down the line, there are going to be real bills to pay for this. Crop failures due to changing weather patterns, the same deal with changing water patterns.
The best part will be watching all of these guilty parties that he's referring to have to eat their own words when they can no longer deny it anymore. That's going to be quite satisfying, and I'm looking forward to that.
Property loss due to rising sea levels, and so forth. These are the dying forests that Ronald Reagan looked at and decided, actually, there might be something to this after all. But sadly, capitalists won't be able to look at that till we're all long dead. In fact, it's a controversial point, but you know those climate revolution people are always blocking traffic and everyone cheers when they get shouted at and such like.
Dear Slayer,
or even have gun.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry that happened to you. It's fucking horrible what they did. It's terrible.
Drawn on them while they're protesting private plane flights to a festival in the middle of the desert called Burning Man. Yeah, everyone sees them as jerks now. But just for a second, imagining 100 years in the future and looking at this footage. Yeah, I know, I'll be dead, you'll be dead, they'll be dead. You might hate them, you might think they're jerks. But it's difficult to contrive that the hangover generations that have to pay real prices for what we've done are going to see it that way. Now, at the moment, we only have the teaser trailer for global warming.
What happened to
the
cyber?
thermodynamics is inevitable, that things won't change unless we do something. Versus the counter-argument, which starts with the fairly pragmatic, self-centered argument that...
Cyber's usually here in the evenings.
What? You really want us to pay twice as much for our power? Or alternatively, we could just get someone else who we're never going to meet to pay. Yeah. And then you accompany that with the seductive lies that it's all a leftist conspiracy, that they want worldwide control, a worldwide government. You're not going to let them win. You don't want them
Sounds
to
like somebody I
manipulate
know.
you into thinking there's a worldwide problem. Burning fossil fuels doesn't harm the planet. We've been doing it for hundreds of years. There's no consequences. There's no measurable change here. You have to keep doing what you're doing now, otherwise they win. Everything will be fine. Remember, numbers and reasoned arguments is just how they get you. Yeah, sorry, hangover generation, you're boned. You don't have to know that much about human psychology or be Einstein to realize that the planet is currently riding a one-way ticket to thermodynamics town.
And the non-associative pronoun.
It's religion.
Man, that's good. Thunderfoot with 2 zeros on YouTube. He's great. You can agree with him or disagree with him, but he's got a lot of science to back up what he says. And people like Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro have none. They have no science to back up anything they say. So go with your heart on that, guys. You know, I've taken precautions against climate, mitigate my own anecdotal little bubble, so to speak.
Arafat Nakba. It's been a cold summer here. Dave Fishing. Been hottest summer on record in FL. Arafat Nakba. That isn't normal, something is off.
At the dawn of the 16th century, the Earth was cooling down. This period of global cooling was most likely caused by volcanic eruptions, shifts in oceanic currents, and orbital fluctuation. European rivers froze, and famines struck all over Asia. But in the 1600s, global temperatures dropped even further.
I'll smoke to that,
and this
bro.
time, it was caused by humans.
I'm sorry, a memorial
Specifically, it was
bong
driven by
rip.
the settler colonial violence that tore through the lives of millions of people indigenous to what we now call North America. The Great Dying. A genocide that killed 90% of the estimated 60.5 million indigenous peoples on the continent. The land-grabbing pursuits of American colonists killed 56 million people, with numbers possibly even higher. This genocide was so massive that it led to a decrease of global atmospheric carbon levels by 3.5 parts per million, enough to lower temperatures across the world. But this is just the start of the United States' role in changing the climate. The country has a long and dark legacy tied to climate change that continues to this day. This is the story of how the United States caused and is still causing climate change. This video was made possible by the people who support me on Patreon. Get early access to all my videos by becoming an OCC Patreon supporter. When it comes to emissions, the United States is the undisputed champion. America is the largest historical emitter. Its cumulative emissions are almost double that of China's, a fact which often gets lost in comparisons of the two countries' current emissions rates. Yes, China is emitting more right now. But keep in mind that a lot of Chinese industrial pollution is driven by demand from the United States. There are also 4 times as many people using energy in China than in the United States. And because CO2 lingers in the atmosphere for up to 200 years, cumulative emissions are a much more effective tool to understand who is driving climate change. And it's undeniably the United States. Not only did the US nurture the oil industry into existence with tax credits, technological advancements, and ravenous capitalist consumption, but it's done so again with the natural gas industry in the early 2000s, helping to lock in a new form of fossil fuels for decades to come with extensive pipeline construction and government subsidies. In part, this was to quench America's insatiable thirst for fossil fuels and material goods. The US has one of of the highest CO2 emissions rates per capita in the world, a rate that is almost 3 times the global average. And the United States is the biggest producer and consumer of natural gas and oil, as well as home to the second largest fleet of coal factories. In short, the United States is responsible for an overwhelming share of cumulative emissions and is still sheltering fossil fuel industries that are at the root of the climate crisis.
Bonsai House. Guess my CO2 tanks don't help.
The United States has now committed to a 50 to 52% reduction of carbon emissions by 2030, which is certainly ambitious. But according to Climate Action Tracker, this reduction still falls almost 11 percentage points short of the emissions
No longer going
cuts
to cannabis.
needed to
Cheers,
stay
Billy.
below 1.5 degrees
Deer
Celsius
Slayer, Bad
before
Blue Draws, not
U.S.
telling.
electricity consumption and overall
Dave
emissions
Fishing.
levels are
Cheers to all of you guys in the
but
chat.
slowly. It's also the second biggest country in terms of renewable capacity, and infrastructure for clean energy does seem to be growing. But again, it's still too slow. Considering the 40 plus years of relative inaction since expert climate scientists warned of the threat of global warming, it's hard to imagine the United States cutting their emissions in half over the next 9 years.
Cheers.
Politicians like Democrat Joe Manchin, who are firmly in the pocket of big oil companies,
Joe Manchin, I talk to his office every week. He is the kingmaker.
and the 130 members of Congress who deny or doubt that the climate crisis even exists, continue to resist any of the actions necessary to reverse course, especially any climate action that might hinder a giant corporation's ability to make money by exploiting workers and natural resources. In short, before it even reaches its tentacles across the world, the American empire is responsible for far more than its fair share of emissions. And like its refusal to recognize its violent exploitation abroad, as we will see shortly, the ruling class of the United States refuses to recognize the harm caused by our use of fossil fuels as long as burning them is quote-unquote good for the economy, as in good for shareholders and executives at major fossil fuel corporations.
Military
In order to
imperialism.
fuel its excessive capitalist need to produce and accumulate goods, the United States has built an empire. One that stretches across the world in the form of nearly 800 military bases in 80 countries. Every year, the federal government sets aside nearly half of its discretionary budget, some $778 billion in 2020, for military spending. Some in the US view this gargantuan fighting force as a spreader of democracy and as the world's police force. And in a way, they're right. The US military does act as the police force of the world. Because, like the police, the US military ruthlessly safeguards the interests of capitalist multinationals and the state at the expense of the poor and people of color. This is best exemplified in the slew of coups, wars, and military interventions that have carved out American control of foreign oil fields. From the US-backed Iranian coup to the Carter Doctrine in the 1980s that explicitly committed the United States to defend oil fields of the Persian Gulf against external threats, to the Gulf War, to the Iraq War, and to the 2 failed Venezuelan coups trying to topple presidents nationalizing oil reserves, the list goes on. Not only do these imperialist attacks secure and subsidize the future of oil use in a time when we need to be doing the exact opposite, but they also destabilize regions so that they're even more vulnerable to the catastrophes made more extreme by the climate crisis. Iraq has been experiencing this reality firsthand. After almost 40 years of US-fueled conflicts, the people and landscapes of Iraq are bruised. Wetlands along the Tigris and Euphrates were purposefully drained in the 1990s as a method of retaliation against communities reliant on their biodiverse ecosystems. So by 2001, 90% of Iraqi marshlands disappeared. And provisional governments that have failed to provide robust support to the Iraqi people, decimated infrastructure, and schools have all made recovering from a multi-decade war much harder. And the climate crisis has just made that recovery even harder. Increased heat in Iraq means...
And Joe Biden just opened up more drilling on 40% of wetlands around the United States.
Increased dust storms and less arable lands. In FAO, arable land has decreased from 7.5 square kilometers to 3.7 square kilometers, while in Tikar it has dropped from 100 square kilometers to just 12.5 square kilometers, which means that Iraqi farmers who've tended to the land for generations are now being forced to find some other means of subsistence.
الجفاف عن هذه المناطق يعني بمسافات كبيرة جدا، لذلك تشوف حتى أنه صارت هجرة
In short, adapting to climate chaos is already difficult for those on the front lines. But the US has made it even harder by selfishly scorching the region in fire and fury to protect their oil interests. So, in a cruel twist of the knife, the US not only makes adapting to climate change more difficult in the regions they exploit, but they are the very ones fueling the fires of the climate crisis. Indeed, the Department of Defense is the single largest consumer of oil in the world. It has a bigger footprint than 140 countries. But military violence isn't the only tool the United States has used in its efforts to control global markets. Alongside the United States' military exploits, US-backed sanctions are wreaking havoc across the globe. War and sanctions are the 1-2 punch of US imperialism. Together, they work to bully any dissident or leftist governments from straying far from the United States' neoliberal agenda of material and labor exploitation of the global South to fuel the luxuries of the global North. US-backed economic sanctions impact nearly 1/3 of humanity in some 30 countries, and essentially work to starve countries into submission. In a world now experiencing an increasing number of crises, this is unethical and unjust. Guns and missiles might not be present, but sanctions still kill. In Cuba, COVID-19 has been exacerbated by the tightening of economic sanctions under the Trump regime. While in Yemen, under a US-backed Saudi blockade, over 20 million people are suffering from food insecurity, with 50,000 children dying of starvation in 2017. This, in a country expected to experience more climate change-driven droughts and heat waves. To compound the harm, the US is reluctant to shelter refugees or migrants. So while the US continues to pour carbon dioxide into the atmosphere and heat up the planet, it's simultaneously tearing away the ability of countries on the front lines of climate chaos to deal with catastrophes, and then it's closing its eyes to the consequences. In order to truly face the climate crisis, then, we must forge an anti-imperialist agenda. At the 2009 Conference of Parties in Copenhagen, otherwise known as COP15, the world was on the brink of a preliminary form of climate agreement when Bolivia, Venezuela, Tuvalu, Sudan, and a few other countries refused to sign on. Their reason? Imperialist powers like the US and the European Union rejected the notion that they should own up to their climate debt, a term that calls for reparations for the hundreds of years of emissions and colonial violence doled out by the global North onto the global South. Despite backlash, Bolivia and its comrades were right. Any effective climate agenda must incorporate the repair that comes with paying off the climate debt. The US not only must end its imperialist interventions, but do the opposite and aid countries in no-strings-attached funding of renewable and technological revolutions led by the global South as a means to escape reliance on fossil fuels. But repairing the harm of centuries of American imperialism doesn't stop there. It also means significant demilitarization of the US war machine.
Yeah, and none of that's going to happen, and we all know it. I mean, he can offer all these solutions, and he's right, and it's great. It would be great. But you know and I know and we all know, there's nobody in our government right now that is going to try to achieve any of those goals. And there's no one who's actually trying to get elected right now who's running on those things. Their whole solution is, carbon credits. The Green New Deal bullshit.
Arafat Nakba.
But to keep the
South
war,
Americans have gotten an
keep
unfair
the
shake
war
by its north
going
section.
and support the military, and no steep war going between countries, and we're dead. We're dead. We're never gonna end because we're a bunch of fucking idiots. And if there was a dude like me that lived in Russia, and a dude like me that lived in the Ukraine, and a dude like me that lived in China, and by some miracle all of us became the leaders of those countries overnight, well then I could see, something could happen. It ain't gonna happen. And everybody's just gonna keep electing poisonous, toxic robots that aren't trying to save this planet at all. The industry isn't trying to slow down. The Biden administration just opened up more oil drilling. The Tesla Corporation is trying to manufacture as many fucking batteries and mine that out of the ground as they can and launch as many fucking rockets as X fucking space shit, whatever the fuck can launch. I'm glad I don't have kids, man. I got no guilt. No kids, no grandkids, man. No guilt. I'm not contributing to the problem, and I didn't put people on this planet that are not going to have a recourse in dealing with a shitty hand they've been dealt because their fucking parents wanted to fucking party and ignore reality, which is all we've done. So kudos to us. We got to party. You know, you want to celebrate that. Let's hear some more. Let's hear some more solutions.
While simultaneously sheltering the growing population of refugees fleeing the climate crisis. Ultimately, the United States has been at the front lines of digging the world into a deep hole of climate chaos. So in order to repair the damage it's done, the US not only needs to stop digging, but turn its resources towards building a ladder so that we might all escape the worst of climate catastrophe.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately,
that's
videos
happening.
like these, while very important, do terribly with
Yeah, the algorithm. Yeah, I know. How many views did you get? Oh, you got fucking over 100,000 views. That's not bad. Ain't gonna make a change at all. How sure are climate scientists really? Huh. I'd like to see that too, but it's a long one.
When experts warn us about something, like they do with climate change, they're never 100% sure. So how do we know when they're sure enough? They tell us that a few degrees...
No. This is how you know. When scientists are sure about something like that, they start preparing their families. Scientists that believe that this is happening will get an off-grid home that has solar and they can raise their own vegetables and their own chickens and survive. That's when you know that they're taking themselves and their science seriously.
Can make a world of difference. 20,000 years ago, the Earth was about to come out of an ice age. Glacial ice, sometimes 2 miles thick, covered much of the northern hemisphere.
No law regarding cannabis, everybody. Cheers. And all the chats. Josh G. Batman Blue Jaws, Deer Slayer, Air Fat Billy, Dave Kathishing. Not telling you. This bong's hitting really good. Really easily.
Cheers.
And many of these islands weren't islands at all. Scientists might also explain that some of the details may be a bit fuzzy. But they're still confident that, by and large, this is what our Earth was like. As the filmmaker, I don't entirely know how they know these things, or what makes them so sure. But that's okay, isn't it? To just report what the experts say? Well...
So the doctor's in on a new study suggesting coffee could be the latest CNN report.
In some fields of science, like nutrition, the warnings we've received from experts have been unclear.
Concluded eating red meat may not be as bad as it's been.
By now, we've been told so many conflicting things about which foods will make us live longer, get sick, or lose weight, that trust has eroded.
As long as they were fortified with vitamins and minerals.
Not anymore.
Now we want people to eat the whole food.
Now, some say journalists are to blame for reporting health studies without enough explanation about the underlying science. But scientists themselves have apparently been making mistakes determining how reliable their results are.
Chili dog. Cheers.
And it's not
Cheers.
just newscasters
Chili
and
dog,
nutritionists who
Nick.
struggle with uncertainty. We're learning that a significant number of experiments in psychology and some areas of medicine can't be replicated or verified because the researchers, in many cases, overstated the strength of their findings. Now, on one hand, climate science has a basis in so-called hard sciences, like geology and physics, which are less prone to replication problems than research about human behavior, sometimes called soft science or social science.
You know what I like? I like global average temperature science. That's what I like. Just tell me how hot it's been, and then tell me how hot it was last year, and then tell me how hot it was the year before that. And then the average global temperature. That's all I want to know. I don't want anecdotal cities. I just want to know the global average. I want all those temperatures averaged together. I just want to see if there's any, I don't know, any kind of a trend that I might be able to follow. And as someone who's not a scientist, someone who can just do this, I can see the global average temperature has been doing nothing but rising. And Steven Crowder wants to talk about a 5-year pause.
Arafat Nakba.
On the hottest month.
Forget the logic of the off-ID mansion.
On the hottest,
when I saw you made the trendy
on the
paint
hottest
oil,
July
I was like,
of the
damn, he's a
hottest
scientist.
year on record, Steven Crowder makes a video claiming that there was a pause. On record. How funny is that? I'm smarter than Steven Crowder. And I don't psychologically or physically abuse my fucking wife.
On the other hand, climate change is about humans, right?
Might say something
So
about
we
him,
need
huh?
both hard and soft sciences to understand it.
Like maybe he
Let's
can't be
explore this with
trusted.
some carbon arithmetic. Say we wanted to know how much carbon dioxide has been added to the atmosphere by humans. Well, we know how much fossil fuel has so far been burned. And we know how much CO2 will be
Arafat
produced
Nakba.
as a result.
I would like to know so cheers.
And we know deforestation releases additional CO2. But not all this extra carbon stayed in the atmosphere, because most of it got absorbed by the oceans and soils. Now there is some uncertainty surrounding these numbers, but ultimately we can check our math against air, water, and soil samples.
Chili dog.
Grounding
I
our
just
final
saw
answer in
Crowder
hard
on and
science
couldn't take
evidence.
more than 2 minutes of that dude.
But we see the science gets softer when we ask a different question. How much fossil fuel is left to economically mine and burn?
The Arctic may hold a quarter of the Earth's undiscovered oil.
Answering this requires making predictions about future discoveries.
We got plenty.
energy
This is going to be
markets,
100 years before it
and whether
starts
countries
even
enact
going
policies that
down.
somehow
So
keep fossil fuels in the ground.
it doesn't matter. We could stop it all tomorrow. We're not going to stop it all
Categorizing the
tomorrow.
sciences, like with hard or soft, can be useful if it helps us identify what research is more trustworthy.
Agriculture is going to keep agriculture in, man.
How do you
We're
handle
still figuring
looking at
out
Dory
how
for more than
widespread
5
it is
minutes, man?
and
Wow.
what can be done about it. It's a big, active topic of debate. But I'm interested in
Dave
how
Fisher.
journalists and people
We
like me
wouldn't stop
are
it if
supposed
we
to
could.
report on science given all these open questions. So here I'll share why I've come to believe that even when looking at climate research, the only way to learn how sure scientists are is to dig in a little and view their work with some healthy skepticism. So here we're looking at the Earth's temperature 20,000 years ago. The negative numbers indicate how many degrees colder it was in Celsius than the late 1900s. The temperatures are estimated by looking at ice drilled out of glaciers, as well as fossils such as shells that hold clues about the conditions when they
Arafat
were formed.
Nakba.
And this particular
That
data
dude
comes
made
from a
love to
study
the Blarney
that
Stone.
combines 80 temperature records from different locations. It's the most comprehensive study I could find for this time period, published in a major journal. The researchers averaged all these messy lines together, weighing them differently based on location and other factors, and they expressed their confidence level using a margin of error. In this case, with 68% confidence. But here's a case where the margin of error doesn't seem to mean that much. Because none of the climatologists I spoke to, including the authors of this very study, were 68% sure that the true temperature lies between these dashed lines. They all said it's probably lower. Because another study that just focused on the last ice age put the average temperature here. This ice age study is considered to be more reliable because it factored in more types of evidence and did more robust modeling. Margins of error can be skewed for all sorts of reasons, which is why talking to scientists can help reveal how sure they really are. And in this case, the climatologists were okay with me using the shape of this timeline, as long as it was shifted downwards to agree with the more reliable ice age temperature, and they were not comfortable with me showing numbers pulled straight from the single study. And I wasn't comfortable at first questioning numbers published by credible experts. But that's just it. To improve how health and nutrition get reported, journalists need to scrutinize, even filter what gets publicized, beyond just ensuring studies are peer-reviewed and published in a major journal. Which means people who aren't called scientists kind of have to be scientists. Now, error margins can be misleading for other reasons too. Certainty is often too complicated to be summed up as a simple number or phrase. For example, this graph may be too smooth, which is relevant to the climate.
It's funny
debate.
that I don't realize my shirt's
Short-term
going
variations
up.
like this, or this,
Like my
could have
belly's
occurred,
sticking out,
but the level
bro.
of precision in the underlying data kind of blurs the image. Variations this big, however, are unlikely to have happened without leaving a mark in the natural record. But a smooth over line does show long-term trends, and you may have noticed the temperature has been creeping upwards. Do scientists understand why? Well, the Earth's orbit is composed of many different cycles of different duration. We experience the daily and yearly cycles in a dramatic way. But some more subtle repetitions occur over tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of years. And the accumulated effects of these long-term
Arafat
cycles
Nakba.
tracks with
I never
evidence of ice
noticed
ages,
haha good stuff,
which you can
cheers.
see in some places. But in other places, it doesn't line up that well. Well, that's because, scientists explain, the relationship is complex. The orbital changes didn't directly cause the temperature to rise because they didn't cause more sunlight overall to hit the Earth. They did affect the angle of the sun in a way that allowed more of it to reach the poles, which caused the glaciers to retract, which meant the Earth was less reflective, so it absorbed more sun. And there were new sea currents. And carbon dioxide levels increased, though scientists aren't exactly sure why. And all these secondary factors cause the average temperature to rise. Scientists say they have a pretty good understanding of this. But even when the world seems to be in clear view, the picture is always at least a little bit out of focus, obscured, distorted. Another reason scientists can't reliably tell us how sure they are is that often they don't know how close they are to the truth. And they're prone to confirmation bias, and often under pressure to publish noteworthy findings. Even the guiding principles of science itself aren't set in stone.
Arafat
Key concepts have been rebuked and revised. Until the mid-1900s, scientists believed that discoveries were made by observing their surroundings and making logical conclusions, a process called empiricism. Then they realized that acquiring knowledge was a more imaginative process. To cut through the fog, scientists have to make guesses
This guy's taking
on
way
top of
too
what they
long,
know,
man.
and then test these guesses. So imagination, when paired with scrutiny, is central to the discovery process. And uncertainty, the very thing that clouds our view, also frees us to construct possible answers.
Wrap it up, buddy.
Scientologists have built models that help them predict how different forces affect each other and impact the Earth's temperature, like the way meteorologists use models to forecast the weather. They grow more certain when experiments confirm their theories, when different types of evidence agree, and when theories survive critical review from others. Plus, these models have been around long enough now that we can look back and see how well they predict the changes that have already occurred. Now let's shift gears and look at what humans were doing since that last ice age. Shrinking ice sheets allowed humans to cross that land bridge we saw earlier between Asia and North America. Sometimes melting glaciers would collapse, causing massive floods.
Why does it take so long to get make a point?
Farming would ultimately lead to the birth of civilization, which spread slowly across
It just
the globe.
seems like there's so much wasted time in this video.
Cities would grow larger, governments more powerful, empires would rise and fall. So much history happened through these centuries, as territories were settled, conquered, reconquered.
What's the point, man? It's not the Industrial Revolution
From
yet.
a word numbers perspective, the really big changes were about to happen somewhere around here. Something dramatic happened.
Yeah.
The Age of Enlightenment and the Industrial Revolution.
There you go.
Some say the Enlightenment began around here, but never ended.
I'm pretty smart for an old man, aren't I, guys?
Against so-called authorities of truth, primarily religious institutions and monarchs. And the result was a period of unprecedented discovery. Scientists will say they're different from authorities of truth because they don't want others to take them at their word. They encourage fellow scientists to challenge and test their explanations.
But mankind has no effect on climate.
Truth. And there's a growing concern that
Right? Mankind has no effect on temperature.
Caveats aside,
Or
the scientific
warming.
revolution corresponded with an enormous uptick in human well-being. Advances in medicine, agriculture, and sanitation allow us to live longer and healthier lives. Our population exploded. Some might say we thrived. But population growth combined with the Industrial Revolution had environmental consequences. The amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere began rising due primarily to the burning of fossil fuels.
All in
the first reliable thermometer
coordination with each other on that Industrial Revolution
and
and us putting more pollution
average.
into the atmosphere.
One could argue that scientists were slow to grow certain of human-caused climate change. Some studies warned of the problem well over 100 years ago. In 1965, the U.S. President's Science Advisory Committee issued a major report stating that carbon dioxide, quote, will almost certainly cause significant changes in the temperature. Since then, the Earth's temperature has been rising. Looking back at the 20,000 years we just traveled, the recent warming looks different than past natural changes. Now I made a point to highlight uncertainty that clouds this chart. Other skeptics have raised other questions, some credible, some not. But you're not a reasonable skeptic, unless you're willing to size up your doubts with the larger picture of truth.
How long this
Uncertainty
motherfucker
translates
takes to
into
say
numbers,
this shit?
or
We
you
got
still
him in
gauge
full
as best
on
you can
2 times
whether there's enough of
speed.
it to change the picture. Even compared to moments when we were exiting the ice ages the most rapidly, today's rate of warming is of a different magnitude. And it started abruptly, when, according to the cycles, temperature should be flat or waning. And still, scientists were able to predict it, and they explained it with evidence and reason. Now to estimate future temperatures, climatologists must rely on their models and make a number of assumptions, one being human behavior. This scenario, by the International Panel for Climate Change, assumes we make no new efforts to reduce carbon emissions, whereas this one assumes we make drastic cuts, enough to keep temperature rise to 2 degrees above pre-industrial levels. And the gap between these scenarios highlights uncertainty stemming from the fact that we don't know what humans are going to do, the realm of soft sciences. But what about uncertainty stemming from the hard science? Well, the IPCC projections do specify a margin of error, which here they get by comparing the temperature submitted by the teams of scientists.
That
behind
year
the
down
IPCC
there is
with each country with their own
2100.
numbers. And if this chart looks messy to you, it is. Depending on how the teams designed and configured their models, they got different results. But you can see consistency too. All the teams found that greater carbon emissions will result in significantly higher average temperatures. So even if models can't simulate reality
And
perfectly,
that's the
they
year
can do well enough to help us
2000.
learn and solve problems.
So it's 100
and here helping
years.
us figure out what we need to do to bring our planet's runaway temperature under control. Now, some have argued that because uncertainty exists in the hard science, we should hold back our efforts to change our behavior. In fact, here are examples when prominent figures in the U.S. have pointed to uncertainty as a reason to defer policy. Now, if you pause and read about these cases, you might find that many look more like political maneuvers than honest arguments about the science. Still, uncertainty is a prevailing theme of the climate debate, and refuting these arguments with reason takes some work, especially because uncertainty is confusing even for the experts. A simpler rebuttal is to say we just need to trust the scientists. We can point out that they know the subject matter, that there's a consensus within the field, and a peer review process, and that credible institutions back their claims. Now notice, These arguments are all about endorsing the experts, not about the merits of what the experts are saying or the science. There are lots of good reasons to trust experts. I mean, we have to. Our society functions thanks to specialized occupations. But when somebody questions whether a finding is true, saying trust the scientists is a problematic answer. Because we know individual scientists are fallible.
I'll tell you what I'll fucking trust right here. I'm on a goddamn podcast, and I talk to people all around the world, and I ask them how the weather is all the time, and they tell me. You know, and I hear when people are fucking suffering. I find out when people are being moved out of their homes from fires and floods, and when people are subjected to hurricanes and shit. I fucking hear about it all the time on here. So anecdotally, between me and my friends, we're all experiencing this. I don't fucking care what scientists say or don't say, or deniers say or don't say. I don't give a fuck. I could tell you it's too fucking hot out there for me to work. I didn't used to have this problem, but it's so fucking hot it burns.
Arafat Nakba.
I can't believe
India weather just got crazy.
The amount of sweat that comes out of my body when I am out there working and there's no wind blowing. You wouldn't even imagine. It's unfucking bearable. You know, but I go through it. I fucking deal with it. But I'm telling you, man,
legs sweating.
When I'm out there 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it's as hot as it gets, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't see anybody outside. Nobody's outside. Nobody's jogging. Nobody's riding a bicycle. Nothing. It's a ghost town. That's how fucking hot it gets out here.
False claims.
So that's all the science I need.
More importantly, that systemic problems have led influential groups of scientists to make mistakes.
You know, when that starts improving,
was built on the idea.
When July and August next year is everybody's out and fucking it's breezy and everyone's having a great time, I'll let you guys know. Hey, yeah, it's another pause, and then we're right back to this, only fucking even hotter.
We don't take people at their
Billy
word.
Bong Thornton.
Because we reject
You gotta be a damn trained athlete to go in the sun, haha.
Which is why it's so important for non-experts to, on occasion, wade into the science. Not with the aim of understanding an issue completely, that's impossible, but enough to understand
Dave
why,
Fishing.
say...
That is facts no one outside 1 to 5.
And a beautiful thing happens when we point out that scientists and their ideas are fallible. We're reminded that we can get better at science, and better at explaining science, and better at determining as a society when scientific claims can be believed with confidence, enough confidence to take action, as is clearly the case with the climate. Mind you,
look at 2040.
people with and without PhDs are prone to overconfidence when predicting human behavior.
You guys, look at
Arafat Nakba.
Here's 2040.
I melt in the sun like a vampire. Cheers.
Look, guys, here's 2040 up here. That's fucking 2040, guys. $2030 is right here. 2030 is right here.
And this false sense of knowing people can take many forms. I personally struggle with climate defeatism, a feeling that this line has already been drawn. Since, realistically, humans won't change quickly enough to dramatically bend its shape.
Bonsai house.
There you go.
How is Mark doing?
Exactly what... He's doing okay, actually. I talked to him. Exactly what Thunderfoot said is there's no time to change. I mean, we can't prevent this from. It's already too late, you know. And we could try to implement all the carbon capture laws and carbon credits and all the bullshit Green New Deal bullshit that you want, and it's not going to have any effect on this whatsoever. In fact, it's going to keep going up.
Efforts to fight climate change will only delay the inevitable.
Sea rise 2.4 meters.
Defeatists might take comfort in inevitability, the way denialists take comfort in uncertainty.
I want to see Florida.
It takes the pressure off.
Bonsai house.
We defeatists may call ourselves realists.
Mark isn't gay,
Really,
but he has something in common with gay dudes.
And perhaps
He has the same amount of sex with women.
Scientists a century ago, the empiricists, were wrong about how discoveries were made.
Dude,
Because
there's
they didn't appreciate
Florida.
How important imagination is. How it allows us to reach
I'm
out.
beachfront, baby!
Answers, even about things that were
I'm
true all
freaking
along.
beachfront. Look at me. I'm freaking beachfront,
So surely
baby.
imagination,
I'm
grounded in
okay.
hard science knowledge, can
That's
give us
like
an
we're
influence
good.
on the future of our own
In Orlando, we're 100 feet up. We're good.
But to devise and then rally behind a good plan.
Yes.
And I mean, really believe that that our future is.
We're good.
Dave Fishing.
We're good.
20-minute drive to Beach Blue.
I'm in the right place, baby.
I'm gonna follow.
I'm sitting in the right place. So that's Neil Halloran channel. NEILHALLORAN. Like almost like Halloween, but it's Halloran, RAN instead of ween. Thank you for that's a really good video, and I appreciate that. I really like videos like that give my audience a really good visual concept of what's going on with the global average temperature. That's why I like Thunderfoot. He shows that chart as well. When they give it a line, though, it even makes it more clear to you. I mean, the bars, like Steven Crowder can take those bars and say whatever the fuck he wants, and there was a pause. But when you see it averaged out like that in a line, it'll start making sense. It'll even start making sense to Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro. Because they'll go out in their gardens and they won't be able to grow plants anymore. Their kids are going to be suffering outside. You know, Steven Crowder won't be able to sit by his pool and enjoy a beer anymore. You know, because it'll be too fucking hot. He'll see, you know. That everybody's going to see. Start working towards mitigating that, guys. Everybody. That's what we've always talked about on the show, and I still support that. Give it a fighting chance. Don't be like my sister. Don't just say you're going to throw in the towel, guys. Please. You know, come up with a plan of what how you're gonna deal with it.
Arafat Nakba. Yeah, you gotta switch that with water, bro.
Switch that with water. I don't know what you mean by that. I tell you what I gotta do. I gotta clean my bongs with water. That they are so dirty. I don't see clean piece of glass. Oh, the skull bong.
Arafat
the skull
Nakba.
Bong.
Shoe polish.
Dude. It's almost clean.
Arafat Nakba. Shoe.
You guys remember this one?
Arafat Nakba. No giving up.
Arafat Nakba. No giving up. No saying, hey. Chug-a-lug. 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 Chug-a-lug.
Arafat Nakba. That's awesome.
Girl Scout cookie. Would you guys like me to play you some soothing adult contemporary music? Perhaps? A little adult contemporary. My specialty.
Bonsai house.
Actually, that's not true.
I plopped champagne in my bong long ago.
I feel that my specialty is grunge. I feel that that's my specialty when I play music. But I'm really good at rock. I'm okay at metal, and I think I've got a very nice niche with the adult contemporary. You know, not to be forgotten. I'm in there as well. I've got a good wide selection. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, Bonsai House, Arafat Nakba. It's Josh G. Bad Bad Blue Draws, Deerslayer 1959.
Hootenhell.
Talon.
No any Mudvayne.
Dave Fishing. I do not know Mudvayne. Hoot and Howl. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, everybody. And watch the skull as it fills and it turns white like a skull.
Cheers. Arafat Nakba. Cheers, Scout Breath. I hated Unga for a while until I saw Mother Love Bone. Chili dog. Cheers.
The Girl Scout cookie has a very nice smoke for blowing smoke rings. A little adult contemporary music. That's the money maker. That's what brings the tips in, you see. That and Freebird, because I live in Orlando.
Bonsai house. Thought of another name for that butter. Pee upon. You could say, pee upon my dabber, let me pee upon my dabber, W-Y pee upon.
That's funny.
Chili dog.
It's funny.
I keep lagging 15 to 20 seconds on chat. Arafat Nakba. Yeah, rock and roll.
sound on.
Bonsai House. Not a lot of people know Foo Fighters are named after UFOs from World War II. Some Nazi secret weapon. Arafat Nakba. Arafat Nakba. Yes, yes, the bell.
So weird. I don't know where it is. I'm turning every knob till I find it. Where's that crazy woman? I'm just having fun with these sounds. It's like REM. Calling out Radio Free Europe. Calling out Radio
Arafat Nakba. That's like Frank Hansen's history. Arafat Nakba. Hansen, ha ha Hansen.
I'm just turning all these knobs. I don't even know what I'm doing. And so if I was looking at them, I'd know exactly what to do.
Arafat Nakba. Wow, it did it again, Hannon.
There, I got it now. I got it under control. That's it right there. Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. The Suzanne, the Black,
Arafat Nakba. Sweet.
Woke up this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. And oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days and I thought they'd never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I'd always thought that I'd see you again. Been walking my mind to an easy time. I got my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. I spent hours of time on the telephone line, talking about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines. seen sunny days and I thought they never end. I've seen lonely times when I couldn't find a friend. But I'd always thought that I'd see you, baby, one more time again. I thought I'd see you one more time again. There's just a few things coming my way this time around now. Thought I'd see you, thought I'd see you. Look at my dog's just sitting here chilling, checking out the music. He's like, play my song, bro. Play my
Arafat
song, bro.
Nakba. Beyond amazing, I'm Verklempt, talk amongst yourselves.
He's all like, play my song, bro. When you wake up in the morning. Oh, I fucked it all up. When you wake up in the morning. He loves this song. Hear the church bell ring. And then they march you to the table. See the same old thing. There ain't no food up on the table. There ain't no pork up in the pan. Oh, you better not complain there, boy. You get in trouble with the man. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. They ought to come this rosy, piece of paper in a hand. Rose come to see the governor. She wanna be a man. Umbrella on the shoulder, piece of paper in a hand. Wait, did I just say that? I got the lyrics wrong. Sorry, buddy. I got the lyrics wrong, man. I ruined your song. I ruined your song. You like that one, though, don't you? You really like that song. Yes, you do. You really like that song. How's it go? Yonder come Miss Rosie. That's it. How in the world you know? By the way she wear an apron and the clothes she wore. Piece of paper, an umbrella on her shoulder. Not a piece of paper on her shoulder. Piece of paper in her hand. Nose come see the governor. She wanna be a man. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a light on me. Let the midnight special shine a ever-loving light on me. Bitcoin just dropped. Big time drop, just saying. If you're ever in Houston, some better do the right. Oh, you better not gamble. You better not bite at all. Or the sheriff will grab you. Them boys will take you down. Next thing you know, we saw that too, Mitch McConnell. We saw that. We talked about it on the show already. On this show. I put up a tweet about Mitch McConnell. Rogie, that's his favorite song, man. He loves that song. He'll stop and he'll turn his head. It's like when Desperado comes on for that dude on Seinfeld. That dude's like, Elaine, shh. Desperado, why don't you come to your senses and start putting up fences? And the guy's like, he's all like, Elaine. And she's like, I don't know, every time the song comes on, the dude's like, oh. Gets all weird and sentimental and shit. What the fuck is all that supposed to be? I don't know, Elaine. So it check marked upwards. That's good. It's got to bounce back up to 27 though, and it's not looking good right now. It's a big move. Big move down. Very visible. I'm supposed to go to a doctor about my elbow. I haven't gone yet because I don't have insurance. Specialist. I don't know how much they charge. I gotta find out. It's painful and it sucks. You know, I'm trying to do these. I know about these exercises to stretch. I do this at night when I'm in bed. I take my wrists, you know, and I stretch this. You gotta stretch this muscle right here, and you gotta go like this too. And you're supposed to hold that for like 10 seconds. Stretch out this muscle. And then I've got this triage oil here. Bonus. Oh man, dude, that's just crazy relief. Arthritis. Well, this is tennis elbow. Oh man, I can feel where it's still sore up in there though. What's up, Beazle? Have I taken you outside yet today? I can't remember. I better take my dog out for a walk. Because I don't remember. What time is it? Almost noon. He's chill. You want to go outside, Bees? It's Josh G is here. Bad Blue Draws is here. At least he was here at top of the hour. That was... What? Top of the hour, bro? 51 minutes ago. Who's still here? Anybody? Hashtag keep it open from Arafat Nakba. I got one hashtag keep it open going. Hey, 5 and 15 quarter 2, 2 and 15 quarter 10. Hey, gotta keep it open. 5 and 15, keep it open 2. And then it's Josh G and pins it up to 2, 2 and 15 quarter 2, 2, 15 quarter 5, 5, 15 quarter 2, 2, 15 quarter 5, 5. And 2 hashtag keep it opens. 3 and 15 quarter 2. How many more hashtag keep it opens can we get? 3 and 15 quarter 2, 2, 15 quarter 5, 5, 15 quarter 2, 2, 15 quarter 5. Looking for keep it open 2 and a keep it open 5 and a 15 quarter 2, 2 and a 15 quarter keep it open 2 and a 15 quarter keep it open 2 and a 15 2 and a 15 quarter keep it open 2 and a 15 quarter 5, 15 quarter 2 and a keep it open 5 and a keep it open 5, 2 and a 15 quarter 2, 2 and a chat quit. We're here. Bonsai House 2 and a 15 quarter 2, 2 15 quarter 10 and 15 5 and a keep it open 2, 2 50 keep it open 5 and a 15 quarter 2, 2 and a keep it open 5 and a 15 quarter 2, 2 keep it open 2. Keep it open 5 and a 15 quarter 2. Keep it open 5 and a 15 quarter 2 and then keep it open 5 and a 15 quarter 10, 15 quarter 10, 15 quarter 2, 2, 15 quarter 5 and a keep it open 2, 2, 15 quarter 10 and 15 quarter 2. Can't get more than 2. That's all we can do, folks. 2 hashtag keep it opens. That's the stuff. Not enough. Gonna take my dog outside so he can say rough. What? Oh, boom. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Thanks. Take care. Remember, hashtag keep it opens would have kept the show going, guys. I really would have. I've got... Oh, Hoot and Howl is now coming in with that keep it open. Look at this. Johnny come lately with... Look at this. We've got 3. Better you than me. 5 and a 15 2. Wait, how many do we got? Nick gave me 2. So it's really only 3. Okay. Could have watched the crypto. I could have taken my dog out. You guys could put a video on for you guys. 10 and a 15 2, 2 and a 15 10 and a 15 quarter 5, 5 and a 15 5 and a 15 quarter 2. We lost the planet in 1979, basically. That was the last year we could have started to save the planet, I guess. That's what this one's about. This one's crazy. Two and a 10 and a 10 and a 15 2, 2 and a 15 quarter 5,
moustache-twirling villain.
5 and 15 quarter 2.
Are deeply embedded in modern society, with myriad individuals making small choices that all got us to where we are today. But if you demanded a villain, someone to point to when explaining why we are facing a perilously warming planet, then at least according to some people, your man is John Sununu.
Trendy Nick.
Previously, we discussed the long history of climate science, from the discovery of carbon dioxide in 1757 to the release of An Inconvenient Truth in 2006. Something that was very clear in that video was that the science of climate and how it changes over time was really well understood by the 1970s. Academics such as the giant Roger Revelle and the dedicated experimentalist Charles Keeling published reports on the threats of the planet rapidly warming due to a buildup of carbon dioxide in its atmosphere. So did scientists working in the fossil fuel industry. Humble Oil, the predecessor to Exxon, published work on carbon emissions changing the climate in 1957. But perhaps no one understood the science better than James Edward Hansen. Hansen came from a humble background in Iowa and fell in love with maths and physics at an early age. One night while observing a lunar eclipse, his observations were ruined by the moon being totally obscured by a dust cloud. A dust cloud that Hansen later identified came from the eruption of Mount Agung on the other side of the world, carried by an atmospheric current. From that point on, Hansen, under the tutelage of space scientist James Van Allen, became interested in planetary atmospheres, specifically Venus, and why it was so incredibly hot. He studied the physics of why planets are the temperatures they are, and the greenhouse effect, which we covered previously. When NASA expanded their study of the Earth's atmosphere, Hansen was brought on board to build computer models based on the physics he had studied. He became particularly interested in how the Earth's climate had changed over recent history, and what was causing it. He demonstrated that, according to the equations, while the majority of the warming trend was from increasing CO2, this wasn't enough to explain observed changes on its own. But if you took a simple computer model of the physics of the Earth's atmosphere and ocean and
did anyone just feel time
eruptions and added small changes in the sun's output, you got a pretty good explanation of changing temperatures. If you made the model a bit more complex, a bit more realistic, you got an even better result. As shown in the bottom right figure, science had a very good explanation for why the Earth was warming. While volcanoes and the sun were factors, Hansen had accounted for these and found that the warming was largely due to increasing concentrations of CO2 in the atmosphere, caused by humans burning fossil fuels. Hansen would present this science to some of the most powerful men and women in the world, but in the end, this figure would be used as a weapon, wielded in bad faith against Hansen and against science, and in the end, against the Earth. In 1979, Hansen dialed into a meeting in Cape Cod to discuss the changing climate. The meeting had been requested by President Carter in the aftermath of a government report that found atmospheric CO2 concentrations would double by 2035, and that the world would warm by between 2 and 3 degrees Celsius as a result. Carter wanted to know if other top scientists agreed with this finding. As such, climatology professor Jules Charney gathered together top minds, including Hansen, who over the course of several days concluded that depending on how sea ice responded to a planet with double the concentration of CO2, the Earth would warm on average by 3 degrees Celsius, with an error of 1.5 degrees by the way. The Charney report was a serious warning, and it sparked discussions at the highest level. So the following year, another meeting was called, this time in Florida, and this time involving scientists, but also economists, policy experts, and an expert from industry. Their goal was to provide the National Commission on Air Quality with policy recommendations to prevent this global warming from taking place. What could the government do to fix this problem? The conversation was pragmatic. Everyone was on the same page with the science and agreed that this was a political problem now. But as politicians concern themselves with problems as long as their term length, never more than a few years, the scientists would have to take the lead in making recommendations for long-term policy. They agreed that some kind of international treaty would be necessary to limit the accumulation of CO2 in the atmosphere. While the USA was the largest emitter of CO2, action in isolation wouldn't accomplish much. But if the USA demonstrated leadership and took action first, perhaps the rest of the world would follow, and maybe an international agreement would too. Henry Shaw, the representative from Exxon, counselled that a transition period would be necessary, with the world gradually stopping the burning of fossil fuels and starting to use renewable energy instead. Anne-Marie Crocetti, a public health scholar from the National Commission on Air Quality, summarised the consensus opinion as, "We've got ourselves a bunch of experts, and by God, they all endorse this point of view and think it's very important. They have disagreements about the details of this and that, but they feel that it behooves us to intervene at this point and try to prevent it." Yet, on the final day of the conference, when all these experts sat down to agree on a statement to prevent it, they ran into a problem. In the first paragraph, describing that climatic changes were likely to occur, there were differences of opinion. "Will occur," proposed John Lauman, the Stanford engineer. "What about the words highly likely to occur?" asked Anthony Scoville from the House Science Committee. "Almost sure," said David Rose, the nuclear engineer from MIT. "Almost surely," said Lauman. "Perhaps you can use will occur," said another, "and quantify the changes." "When they start to quantify the changes," said Lauman, "I can't make such a statement. Changes of an undetermined as yet of a little understood or extremely likely to occur. Surely to occur." This went on for hours. The group never made it to policy recommendations. They never even made it to the second paragraph of their statement. The political problem remained open. And then, 4 days after the meeting ended, President Reagan was elected. I mentioned in the previous video that the Reagan years were tumultuous for the study of climate change. To say that the Reagan administration was not a fan of environmental research and regulation was putting it mildly. When Reagan entered the White House, the Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, had its staff numbers cut in half. When the Council on Environmental Quality published a report warning that fossil fuel use could permanently and disastrously alter the Earth's atmosphere, Reagan declined to act on the advice. Instead, he considered eliminating the Council. Plans were floated to close the Energy Department, increase coal production, and deregulate surface coal mining instead. The Reagan White House was not interested in human impacts on the climate. It simply didn't factor into their political calculations. But the US Congress was getting an education on how humans were changing the planet, courtesy of James Hansen and Representative Al Gore. We met Gore previously while he studied at Harvard under Roger Revelle. After winning his third term as congressman for Tennessee, Gore was made chairman of an oversight committee within the Science Committee, a position regarded as a backwater within a backwater, but one he was determined to use to raise awareness of scientific and environmental issues. As such, he invited Roger Revelle to testify before Congress in 1980 on the seriousness of man-made climate change. But he made little impact. Congress just wasn't interested in what they considered a hypothetical. So, at Gore's invitation, Hansen testified in 1982, describing his work identifying a warming signal in the temperature record. Hansen and the other experts testifying that day, including Melvin Calvin, who had won a Nobel Prize for his work on the carbon cycle, agreed there was more than enough evidence to merit action on carbon emissions, changing the national model of energy production away from fossil fuels. Some of the few congressmen present agreed. When asked by a representative when such action would need to take place, Hansen simply said, "Very soon." Calvin said it was useless waiting for stronger evidence of warming. Quote, "It is already later than you think." But while Hansen was building momentum and changing the first few minds in the US Congress, the White House was unmoved. In fact, in 1983, it doubled down on its position, and it did so thanks to a new comprehensive report titled Changing Climate. This new report was the result of the 1978 Climate Act, signed by previous President Carter. Part of the act stipulated that a committee should be put together to comprehensively investigate how changing carbon dioxide levels would affect the climate. The head of this committee was to be Bill Nierenberg. Nierenberg was a nuclear physicist who had spent part of his PhD working on Manhattan Project. After that, he'd become an esteemed professor of physics at UC Berkeley and expanded his interest to include research on national defense and the natural environment. In 1965, when Revelle retired as the head of the Scripps Oceanographic Institute, he was asked to take on the role and threw himself into the science. He even intervened personally when research funding for Keelin's carbon dioxide monitoring project was threatened. Nierenberg was dedicated to the science and a natural choice to chair such a report. He pulled together a superstar team of scientists and economists, including William Nordhaus of Yale and Thomas Schelling of Harvard. They spent 5 years investigating the issue and in 1983 published their conclusions. The scientific content of the report concurred with the Charney report a few years earlier. CO2 doubling was likely to happen in the mid-21st century, and this would warm the planet by between 1.5 and 4.5 degrees Celsius. But potentially 3 times that much over the polar regions. This would affect weather, agriculture, and ecosystems all over the world. This was a problem, the scientists said, and we shouldn't simply wait and see what happens. As such, the synthesis of the report recommended the situation was one of concern, but not of panic, and no immediate action was necessary. Wait, what? You see, the report contained 5 chapters written by scientists and 2 written by economists. The 5 scientific chapters lined up with the Charney reports and other academic papers. The 2 economic chapters approached the problem from a different angle. They assumed that any serious impacts of climate change were so far into the future as to be discountable. That is to say, $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow, and a lot more than $1 in a century, so you could discount costs far into the future. Nordhaus wrote that while the obvious solution in the present was a carbon tax, this would be hard to implement and thus not worth doing. Schelling suggested that adapting to a changing climate and treating the symptoms next century would be cheaper and easier than addressing the root cause. No regulatory policy could possibly succeed, so climate change is what we should expect. I'm sure I don't need to point out this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. To quote Naomi Oreskes and Eric Conway, writing much later in Merchants of Doubt, this was like suggesting that researchers shouldn't try to cure cancer because that would be too expensive. And in any case, people in the future might decide that dying from cancer is not so bad. In fact, I just want to read a brief quote from Schelling, which I found particularly telling of his economic approach. He wrote, "Today, little of our gross domestic product is produced outdoors, and therefore little is susceptible to climate. Agriculture and forestry are less than 3% of total output, and little else is much affected. Even if agricultural productivity declined by 1/3 over the next half-century, the per capita GNP we might have achieved by 2050, we'd still achieve in 2051. Considering that agricultural productivity in most parts of the world continues to improve, and that many crops may benefit directly from enhanced photosynthesis due to increased carbon dioxide," side note, this is absolutely not true, I made a whole video about it, "it is not at all certain that the net impact on agriculture will be negative or much noticed in the developed world." This statement seems remarkably naive today. If Schelling had talked to pretty much any historian about past climatic changes and their impacts, or considered anywhere other than America, or given any value to biodiversity, or geopolitical impacts of less food being available, he would have known that this was hopelessly narrow-minded. A warming climate doesn't just affect GNP, it doesn't just affect the developed world, and it certainly doesn't just affect humans. And you'd think these points would be reflected in the summary, or that Nierenberg's background as a scientist would make him give more weight to the 5 scientific chapters in his conclusions. Yet, his summary of the report, the only part that was actually read and disseminated in the press sided heavily with the economists. It did not deny the situation, the facts existed, but questioned the interpretation of those facts as a...
Hope you guys enjoyed that. I took my dog out for a walk. So I didn't get enough hashtag keep it opens. I'm sorry, guys. I would have loved more. You guys take care, and I will see you this afternoon. Sometime early evening, probably. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.